Okay, here we are again. Final dungeon time, baby. Almost. Just gotta get that one last side quest in. And then we'll be off. But first we'll watch this, because we always do. And then we'll hang out for a couple minutes and then we'll go. Okay, we're getting right down to it here. This guy didn't want to throw hands after the last episode. He was just walking around aimlessly. But that's fine, because that'll save me from having to spend my 1-2 punch on somebody that isn't Cypher. So, you know. But we'll take care of Cypher in a minute. First, we got to get through Area 5 Mount Battle so I can finish out our movesets. How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Pokémon XD Gale of Darkness, the Stream Edition. Last time, we almost finished out all of the side quests that I wanted to do. And this time, before we actually go up there, I actually want to grab a spare TM for Flamethrower from here, which is this right here. And the reason why I want this is going to become more clear later on. I'll need it for my 6th team member once we get them for a coverage move, but we won't be getting them for quite some time yet, even though the final dungeon is practically at our doorstep at this point. But yeah, basically we're going to go through Area 5. We'll get it done real quick. Once we're done with that, we've done all the side quests that I want to do. We won't be catching any more wild Pokemon. We won't be, doing any of the battle CDs until the post-game. We won't be doing any more Mount Battle Bar. Maybe I'll do Area 6 if I need something to do in the post-game, but we won't be doing Areas 7 to 10. Unless I decide to do them after my break from getting my wisdom teeth removed, which I'm not sure about yet, but we'll see how that all goes. For now, though, let's continue a challenge, because we've cleared up to Area 4, so let's go clear Area 5, shall we? We're just about on level with all of the trainers that are going to be in this area, but their movesets are going to be significantly easier to deal with than the stuff in Railgame Coliseum. That was probably some of the hardest stuff we'll be dealing with in the game, to be honest. So, yeah, these movesets that they have here usually don't have too much strategy to them, and you can just blast them right off of the field. So that's what we will go do. So let's go do just that. Starting at area number 41. Well, panel number 41. Battle 41? I don't know. Because the areas are called areas, so. You know what I mean. You know, it occurs to me, or rather it occurred to me today while thinking about this game and watching the intro and all of that stuff, that the characters, or rather their models, in this game have some very specific things about them that are, I think, rather interesting considering what the remainder of the Pokemon series had to do to catch up to them later on. Because, I mean, you look at the character models in this game and, I mean, they have fully articulated hair, mouths. I mean, their eyes are still painted on, sure, but they're, you know, the vast majority of the other things, accessories like that guy's sunglasses, they're all, like, actually articulated on the model, and they actually have depth to them, rather than simply being, say, painted on the model like you would have seen in a lot of other early 3D games. And, I don't know, to me that's really interesting, because it took the rest of the series, like, a decade to catch up to the fidelity of the stuff that Genius Sonori shoved into this 2005 Nintendo GameCube CD. And, I don't know, it just feels like this game, by comparison to the rest of the series, was very ahead of its time when it came to its graphical fidelity, but I don't know, it's just something I noticed. Hey, Lifeblood, how's it going? Welcome. You're here in a new phone, nice! Congrats on the new phone, hopefully it's better than the old one. We're just hanging out around doing Area 5 of Mount Battle before we go to the final dungeon. And I'm trying to find some things to talk about while we do it, because this is just battle after battle after battle, so. There ain't a whole lot of depth to this, we're just going to blast our way through, so. I see my opportunity here, I just don't know if it'll actually work, so. If it'll actually, like, one-hit KO anything, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But I'll do it anyway, why the hell not? There will be a lot of spelling mistakes, okay? That's alright, no problem, Lifeblood. Usually I get the gist of what you're saying when you put it in the chat, so it should be fine. That charm is going to make this earthquake do nothing at all, so that's fun. I guess I should get somebody else in here to help out. Matter of fact, Breloom and Gardevoir would work perfectly for this particular battle, so. But we'll work on that in a minute. First, let's try taking out the rest of these gents, shall we? Yeah, I'm gonna headbutt the Ariados so I don't get cute charmed, I don't think. Oh no, Agron could get cute charmed because the Delcatty's actually male, so okay, that's fine. At least he didn't charm me again this turn. That would have sucked. Then I definitely would have had to switch. That stupid thing tries to correct me anymore. I swear to God! Oh boy. Autocorrect is a thing. It'll happen, but... like I said, I get the gist of what you're saying usually, so... You've lost your patience already. Oh boy. Hey, don't worry about it. It's just a phone. It's fine. Alright, so Quagsire, we're going to get you the Hiffle out of here, because I don't feel like dealing with that. And let's just get rid of the Ariados first, and we'll work on Gloom after that. I probably could have called Aggron and been fine, but I figured, yeah, I might get charmed, so I might be switching anyway, so... But I didn't, so that's good. Ooh, give me the Oh, okay. I was going to say, give me the Insomnia so I can use it to my advantage now that I just traced it. But you targeted the wrong person, and it still didn't even work. Fantastic. It's a very slow headbutt you got there, Aggron. I'm glad it still works, so... Probably if you headbutted them any quicker, that Ariados would have flown into the lava, and well, can't have that, can we? Yeah, Steel Kaiju, indeed. Aggron is all grown up. It was near the end of the last episode where we finally evolved it, so that's good. Still holding the amulet coin, even though it doesn't do anything for me here, but it'll do stuff for me when we get to Citadark Isle, because we're going to need the money, so... I mean, I would think you'd... Actually, no, she doesn't look like she skips leg day, so it wouldn't make her weak in the knees from carrying all that upper body weight, but, you know. Let's see what kind of perfect balance this man is talking about here. Well, I mean, they don't share any weaknesses, I guess, so that's good. Probably don't want Aggron to be anywhere near that Hitmontop, though. So I think I'll take care of that right now. Matter of fact, yeah, let's just get Breloom and Gardevoir in here. They'll both work pretty good against these two, and then probably whatever else this guy's got, so... Yeah, level 42 Gloom, where's the evolution? Good question. Apparently Leaf Stones and Sunstones are a little hard to come by in this region. So. Of course, this guy doesn't have any excuse with his Wailmer, but... eh. Oh, I don't know about that counter! Ugh. Excuse me, good lord. I don't know about that counter there, Hitmontop. I think we'll just deal with you the old-fashioned way by skirting around your counter. Dealing with your friends first. Seems like a good idea. Spread the EXP around. It's okay if we do that. We might get one level each out of this area, so like we'll be 44 and 43 entering the final dungeon, I think. So that shouldn't be too bad. There's a rolling kick. It's fine. I ain't worried about it. We'll get a Psychic off, get rid of it. I'm going to Body Slam the Sladian, because of course, and then we'll go from there. Okay, there's a level for Quagsire. Aggron shouldn't be too far behind either. Ooh, 4 attack, that's not bad. And then we have a Skiploom. Handle that too. Probably this won't one-hit KO the Latian, but, you know, it'll go close enough. When I got Para, nice. Got it in before the Safeguard even. Very nice. Alright, so I guess I'll just get rid of you, and then, I don't know, I'll just try to hit you as hard as I can. Probably won't KO, but, you know, it'll put you close. Oh, okay, that'll KO. That will do, Gardevoir, that will do. Now 3 down. 7 more to go. Let's get this TM, and we'll be good. Yeah, I don't know what he meant by his team striking a perfect balance. It's... whatever. I mean, I guess... he had varied typings, but he had 2 flying types that were both weak to, you know, a whole bunch of stuff, so I got nothing. Aggron, how close are you? 55. Okay, fair enough. I'll leave you 2 in for this one. If I have to, I'll switch out to Breloom and Gardevoir again so they can get to 43. But you have Inner Focus and Rock Head, so likely one of those 2 is something that Quagsire can one-hit KO. Or it could just be a Shelgon and a Sneasel. That's also fair. I mean, I can probably still KO a Shelgon with Ice Beam. And Sneasel I can probably KO with Iron Tail. So it should be fine, I think. Just do that so we can Iron Tail next turn with 100% accuracy. Excuse me. And then off we'll go. Did you really need the agility if you're just going to Dragon Breath? Because, I mean, if you're going to paralyze me anyway, you really don't need the agility that badly, do you? I don't know. Whatever he's thinking, it's fine. It doesn't matter to me. Well, not bad, Quagsire. Special attack isn't the best, so, I mean, I'll take that kind of damage. That's fine. And then, I don't know, I'm just going to deal with the para, whatever. What's the worst that could happen? I get parried 5 times in a row. I suppose I could get para-flinched 5 times in a row. That wouldn't be shocking, considering at this point I have a higher chance of not attacking than attacking. But the more we eliminate his Pokemon, the better off we'll be in that department, so... And Agron's level 43, so we can now switch out if we want to as well. More defense, very nice. The Grovyle. Should probably switch out. Because, yeah, I don't think Quagsire's going to do too hot against that. Let's get Breloom in here. And then Agron, keep trying! Yeah, famous last words indeed, yep. It's okay, it's not like this battle is very consequential, you know? Like, the worst thing that could happen is that Agron gets slowly flinched down to the point where it ends up fainting, but, like, that's barely going to be an annoyance, so... And hey, I got the Iron Tail through anyway, so that's like 3 dead Sneasels right there from the crit. So now we'll just let Breloom handle the Grovyle, and we'll go from there. And I might even switch out, actually, get Gardevoir a little residual experience before the battle's over. Because I get full healed at the end of this battle, along with every battle in Mount Battle. Once you complete the battle, you get a full heal, so... It doesn't matter if you end up having a few Pokemon faint, it's no big deal, because you just go all out, and as long as you win, you win. I mean, you might not get the experience on the Pokemon that you wanted on, but as long as you win, that's the point. You'll continue to advance, so... Yeah, like, that's what I'm talking about. You see those back views of, like, of Mikey when it shows, like, scrolls up the battlefield like that, and I mean, his clothes are articulated, they're waving in the wind. His hair is articulated, it's waving in the wind. He has a bionic arm that is not just painted on, it's an actual object on his arm. His backpack has jiggle physics. Like, that's something that you wouldn't see in the main series until, like... Okay, so I think Gen 6 had articulated clothing when they fully upped it to 3D, but there were still some aspects of Gen 6's clothing that were painted on, if I recall correctly. And you wouldn't see them fully embrace the articulation until, like, as far as I'm aware, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, I think, was where they first fully embraced all of that stuff. But, I don't know. Oh, I got static, that's not bad. I mean, I guess just do this, it's fine. And it seems silly to say, oh, Genius Sonority was ahead of their time. I think the graphics, by comparison to, I mean, of course, a comparison to the other Pokemon games, I think they were ahead of their time, but this graphical fidelity that you're seeing in this game, based on where graphics were going in terms of 3D modeling and everything at the time of its creation, this is a little bit ahead of the competition, I think. Sorry, I need to take a drink, evidently, because my voice box is betraying me. I think this was a little bit ahead of the competition, but I don't think it was, like, so far gone that they would need 10 years to come up with this. I mean... Most other games, I think, caught up to the graphical fidelity of this game within a year or two. But... yeah, it didn't take nearly as long as Game Freak made it seem like. Well, if I didn't win, I would lose, but you're never going to go anywhere in this challenge. Hunter-lesque, you're going to be here forever, so... None of these people ever advance, even if they beat you in a battle, which is a little unfortunate. I think it'd be interesting if they could have the trainers change spots depending on if they win or lose in a battle, like in a radiant way, but I think it would also be kind of hard to program, so I don't really see it being feasible. Not in a big game like this, at least. But, I mean, I guess it's possible. Just not easy, I suppose. Probably not the thing that they're most worried about, I guess, is the main thing. Alright, so that should almost KO the Masquerain. This will almost KO the Quagsire, and then we'll just, maybe we'll switch next turn. Oh, I actually think I did KO it. Cool. It's even more dangerous in this arena than you initially thought. Yeah, I mean, lava below us, no railings. This place is crazy. I mean, I guess it's a big arena like this, but still. Like, the platforms, according to the battles themselves, like the battle arenas, the platforms are bigger than they appear to be on the world map, but still, not exactly the most user-friendly place in the planet, that's for sure. Okay, so now everybody's 43, we can switch a few people around, and we'll go from there. Wow, you got 3 speed out of that level, that's not bad. Really catching up with that speed, you're getting blistering by comparison to most Breloom. Okay, so now the question is, who do I swap in? Because, I mean, Flareon, of course, is going to get swapped in, because it's usually the higher level out of most of my party. It's usually the one that gets there first, but excuse me. I think we'll switch Aggron in, because usually, pound for pound, Aggron usually needs the most experience out of anybody to get to the next level, so. And we'll just switch around as we need to. Kirlia and a Croconaw. I don't think Aggron can do a whole lot against the Croconaw. Kirlia could probably faint in one hit, but really don't have a whole lot for them, so. Too bad Sturdy doesn't work like it does in other generations, otherwise you'd be perfectly fine against this Shadow Ball that you're about to eat. Pokemon battles take place. Here we've all seen at least one in the anime where they fly into the next wall, and here there is no wall. Yeah, if they flew into the wall in this one, they wouldn't be coming back very easily, because that lava is sketchy as hell. Definitely not something I would ever want to take a bath in, that's for sure. Not every Pokemon has Bowser's shell levels of defense, you know. Although now that I think about it, I think in one of the Mario games, Bowser was actually, he ended up melting in lava. Like, he actually turned into dry Bowser when he was stuck in lava, so I guess even Bowser isn't immune to the effects of lava. Makes you wonder why he decorates his entire castle with it, but, you know. I forget what Mario game that was. Oh well. That's a fast Croconaw. Because I haven't gone yet with Gardevoir, right? No, I haven't. Okay. Yeah, it's a fast Croconaw. No, well, doesn't really matter now, does it? And here's the situation where I think Aggron would have worked pretty good to have right here, but I mean, I could probably Helping Hand Psychic it and be fine. So. Yeah, there you go. Okay, 3 more battles to go, and then we'll get the TM that I want, which is good. Yeah, we'll just leave things the way they are for right now. We'll see how it all works out. Kind of surprising. I figured, you know, you'd have faced someone a little bit smaller than me. I mean, there's a few kids around here, although I don't think there's too many, actually, now that I think about it. Not too many child trainer classes in this game. I don't think there are roller boys in this one, are there? No, don't think so. Not in this one. They were in Coliseum, but they're not in this one, so... let's see. So Celio's probably got thick fat, so I don't think I want anything to do with that. Oh wait, hang on. I can just do this. It'll probably work okay. I have protected myself from your stern eyeballs. Oh, how silly. I mean, that's not bad. That still did half to Celio on, you know, 50 base power. I'll take that. And then we have Imachok. It's a weird pose for Quilava. Yeah, it doesn't really show off its flames very well when it's in that pose, now does it? Eh. Yeah, I'll just do this, because, I mean, worst comes to worst, they both survive, and I just protect Earthquake again next turn, so... I kind of figured Machoke was going to live. It's got enough HP to where I'm not really shocked, so... This might hurt, though. Yeah, just a little bit. It's alright, Agrin. We'll get him next time. Try to send you in on a fighting type. It, of course, doesn't really work out. Let's send Breloom in. You can handle Celio with Breloom. We'll finish off Machoke with Flareon. Of course, that might not be a good idea considering this Aurora Beam is coming, but we'll probably be okay. Yeah, we're still fine. It's still good. It's still good. Marginally, it's still good. Okay, Flareon's almost 44. We'll get Breloom and Agrin and Quagsire and Gardevoir there slowly but surely. And I'll probably bring in Quagsire and Agrin after this. Because if I remember right, a few of the first trainers on Citadark Isle have some Pokemon that Breloom and Gardevoir can handle pretty easily. So, we'll see how it goes. Now I see one thing, and two things, actually, that Flareon can do very well against. I mean, I could probably one-hit KO the Misdreavus with Iron Tail with Agrin, but, you know. I mean, I have a Grass type right there. I might as well take care of that first. Oh, good. Pain Split. Yeah, that's gonna do you a whole lot of good. So we can probably switch Flareon out now because it'll get to 44 from everything else. So, as a matter of fact, I think I'm going to do that. Let's let Gardevoir in because we got a Wailmer that I can T-Bolt. I could probably also switch Breloom in, but it's probably fine. Worst comes to worst, Wailmer gets a critical hit on a Water-type attack, and then I switch in Breloom anyway. So, I got Levitate. That's not bad. You keep using that move. I don't think it's really going to work too well for you. see how this works. Very good. Very good. Very good works. That's how good it works, is right there. Because it knocked it out in one hit. And I got 3 attack and 3 special attack with Flareon. That's also not bad. So, ooh, I left it at 100% HP for Water Spout. Oh no! Actually, probably will do a little bit of damage, yeah. I shouldn't have left it at 100%. Oh well. Have a T-Bolt. Now your Water Spout will do approximately 2 damage to each of us. Or it'll do 0 damage because you fainted. Alright, so we'll get Quagsire in here, we'll leave Agron in here, and then we'll be good. I don't quite remember what this last trainer has, but I do remember the TM that she has taught to all of her Pokemon. So, also apparently remembered that she was a she, so that's cool. Whoops, wrong Pokemon, hold on. Technical difficulties, stand by, there we go. Put you there. Alright, and let's give it a shot. Alright, so let's see if we can finish out Area 5 and finish out my planned coverage of Mount Battle in this game. Okay, so Grovyle might be a bit of a problem for Quagsire right away. So I might want to get Flareon back in here, actually. So it can work pretty good against the other ones. So, or do I just want to go for it? No, I really don't think I should, honestly. Let's just get Flareon in here. Well, yeah, let's just get Flareon in here. Take care of both of them, potentially. And let's call Agron, give the accuracy boost. We'll get Iron Tail going next turn. Trying to get used to using Call anyway for Agron, because even when we get this TM that we're going to get here, it's actually a same type attack bonus move for Agron. But even once we get it, it doesn't have 100% accuracy. As a matter of fact, I think it has like 80% accuracy, so that's really not going to work too well for us, and we're going to need to use Call anyway to make sure that it can hit 2 out of 3 of its attacking moves. A little bit of a pain in the nutsack, but, you know, you make do with what you've got. Alright, so there's that. Agron's getting up there. Closer to 44. That's a Marsh Tomp, so we can probably bring Breloom in for that. Let's see how much this does to Sableye. Not bad. Almost there. Confuse Ray's a little concerning, but, you know. Oh, it's on Flareon. Okay, I'm switching Flareon now, so what do I care? It's fine. Let's get Breloom in here. And then Agron, why don't you just do the same thing to get rid of the Sableye? I could probably use Earthquake to get a little residual damage off on Marsh Tomp, but it's fine. I should be able to KO it with Giga Drain. My special attack isn't high, but it's high enough. So, especially with a Miracle Seed boost, that should make it halfway decent. Okay, we got a Mightyena, that's fine. Take care of that, even with the Intimidate to drop it. There's the TM, actually, right there that she gives you once you're done with this one, is Rock Tomb. So that allows you to get a Rock-type move for any Rock types that don't have a Rock-type move, aka most of them in this one. I think the only one that really gets a reliable endgame Rock-type move in this game is Nose Pass, if I remember right. It gets Rock Slide, which does about as much as Rock Tomb is going to do anyway for most other Rock types because, well, it's a Nose Pass, so you're not going to get much power out of it, unfortunately. This ain't Gen 4, you can't just evolve it into Probopass and be good. So. Okay, so who's the Sand attack on? That's on Breloom. Okay. I should be able to handle that. This will do a little damage to Mightyena. I can probably Earthquake pretty safely next turn. And probably do a decent chunk, if not KO both of these guys, so. I'm going to bring Quagsire back in just to spread the experience around a little bit. It can take an Earthquake, so. And then we'll be good. Because look at all that HP. I'll be fine. assuming I even get to use Earthquake this turn. If I don't, it's fine, because then I can just protect an Earthquake. And I'll go from there. There we go. Eat this. Not you, Quagsire, but, I mean, there's nothing I can do to prevent you from eating this, so... Okay, I mean, I got intimidated, so I suppose that makes sense. And I suppose that also makes sense. So we'll do a Protect Earthquake, and then that'll handle this battle. Alright, so Quagsire, you know what to do. Actually, I don't want to switch. Aggron, just Protect. And then we'll be good. I mean, if you want to leave your friend all by their lonesome, my Deanna, I guess you could do that. Not a very friendly move there, sis. Like, what the hell? Now Combusken has to take this 150 base power Earthquake by itself? Come on. What are friends for if they don't die together? Oh boy. Alright, well that takes care of Area 5. So, there we go. Get a few Poke Coupons as well. And we'll get a TM. And now we can tackle the final dungeon in earnest, because we don't have to worry about anything else in terms of side content. There are other side things that we can do right now, but I'd rather take care of the final dungeon first, so... And besides, we're not even going to be doing all of the side content in this game anyway, so... And there we go, we get TM39 Rock Tomb for completing Area 5, so there's that. In case I don't end up doing it, Area 6 is the last quote-unquote easy area of Mount Battle, and by that I mean they have similar leveled Pokemon as they did in the previous area that we just did, Area 5. I think they get up to, at the most, level 45. So it's still feasible to do it right now, but then we'd be even more over-leveled for the final dungeon than we already are. And we're going to be pretty over-leveled for the final dungeon to begin with. They'll catch up to us eventually, but it's going to take a little while before they do. So, but yeah, basically, we're going to give Aggron Rock Tomb like this. Get rid of Headbutt. There goes that moveset. And yeah, I'll save Area 6 for the post-game, where we might need it to get to level 50. I don't know exactly what level we'll end the final dungeon at just yet, but we might need a little bit of a boost to get to level 50 with everybody in the final dungeon, so, or after the final dungeon. So if we do, we'll come back and we'll take care of Area 6, and that'll put us in good shape. Abra, take me on out of here. Because I got a final dungeon to conquer and a Cypher organization to take down. Okay. Also, if you want to go for the super secret reward that you can get at the end of Mount Battle, you're going to have to start your whole challenge over again if you want to get it in the post-game. Just make sure that you have your Pokemon all around, I'm going to say level probably 53 or 54 before you start the challenge, because if I recall correctly, they go up to level 60 in terms of their... Or maybe it's even higher, maybe it's 70. I forget, I'd have to look back on it, but basically you're going to want to have your Pokemon trained up for the end game there, because they jump levels again in areas 7 and 8, and then they might jump levels again in areas 9 and 10. Yeah, actually, because Coliseum's end game, they were level 60, so in this end game at Mount Battle, they're level 70-ish, so I guess you're going to want your Pokemon to be like 63 or 64 before you start the challenge, because by the time you get to the end, from Area 1 all the way to Area 100, they should be close to 70 by that point, so... If you want to do the challenge. If you don't, well, you won't get the super secret reward, but that's okay. I don't think that the super secret reward for finishing the whole challenge beginning to end with the same team is really all that worth it, to be honest. It's nice, but it's not anything incredibly substantial. I'll talk about it more in the post-game if we decide to tackle Area 6. But for now, we're getting the heck out of here. Oh, I forgot to mention, in between the last episode and this one, I actually went to every area for some supplies except for Gateon Port, because I figured we'd be able to buy these on our way to the final dungeon anyway. So I went ahead and bought a few more net balls, a few more timer balls. I bought a few more fresh waters and Moo Milks, as you can see here. Bought a few more revives. 25 will probably be enough to get us through most of the revivals that we'll need to do in the final dungeon. You'll be catching a lot of shadow Pokemon, so there's potential for us to have to revive a bunch of our Pokemon there. And I bought a few. I think I topped off on Great Balls to get to 15. I don't think we'll need that many in particular, but there's a couple of things that we can really only get here in Gadeon Port in terms of supplies. So we're going to go buy those now, and then we'll take the Robo-Kyogre over to Citadark Isle. So let's go grab some stuff from the shop because they've got new supplies, and that'll be good. Hey bro, what's up? How's the new shop going? He unfortunately doesn't sell specialty Pokeballs just yet, but he does have max potions and full restores, so I suppose there's that. And I'm going to buy a few full restores, but the main expenditure that we're going to have in this area, I mean, we're spending $30,000 for 10 full restores here, but the main thing we're going to spend on are Ultra Balls, because I need like 50 going into the final dungeon. It's a lot, and that takes my entire wallet down to almost nothing, but that makes the amulet coin pretty damn worth it, I suppose. So 50 is more of a safe than sorry number. You could probably get away with just buying 30 and you'd be fine, but I'd rather have more than I need, because then we won't need to buy any of those pretty much ever again in the game. We will have enough to catch every single Shadow Pokemon from now until the end of the game now, so yeah, we won't need to worry about that too much. Okay, items are all sorted. I got a bunch of Pokeballs. I have no money left, but I still have somebody with the amulet coin in the party that I can handle later, and then we can go from there. So let's go over here to the Robo-Kyogre. We'll save, and then we'll head out to Citadark Isle. Excuse me, pair. Do this, do that. And we'll just let Primeape hang out in the PC. It's almost done in the Purify Chamber right now, but we'll purify it later. So, because we'll have a chance to actually purify stuff in. There's a point in the final dungeon where you can actually come back to the mainland because there's a shortcut. So we'll do that. I am going to turn chat off on the screen for 2 seconds while we ride the Robo-Kyogre to Citadark Isle so I can get a thumbnail, and then we'll go from there. It's not that anybody's chatting right now, it's that knowing my luck, I would get to this point right here, which is pretty much about where I'd want the thumbnail to be, like right there, and someone would suddenly start saying something in chat, and I'd be like, damn it. But that's okay. Man, looks like they brought out the whole cavalry here. Master Greevil isn't messing around, is he? Oh boy. Well, we'll have to deal with that as we go from here. But first things first, we got to get off the docks, so let's go do that first. And of course, we can't walk 5 feet without being noticed and told we're not supposed to be here, so. Well, thanks, a very eccentric professor gave it to me, or doctor, as it were. We might have met at the Krabby Club. That's possible. Oh, yeah, I guess that could be a bit of a problem, couldn't it? Okay, so the navigator here, and pretty much any other... Well, there's a few people in this area that will have Cypher Peon music, even though they're not dressed like Cypher Peons, because they're fairly important in terms of, like, Cypher's people. They directly intercede with Master Greevil in some way, so that's why they have Cypher music, even though they're not Cypher Peons. But yeah, as you can see, they're level 33 at this point. We're definitely over-leveled, but they'll catch up eventually, or close to catch up. We'll probably be in the high 40s by the time we're done with this area, and they'll be in the mid 40s, so it'll be a little bit of a like, the gap is very wide right now, but they'll thin the gap out pretty quickly. So. Hey Marie, how's it going? Welcome back. We just made it to Citadark Isle, so now we're gonna just hang around and see what we can do while we're here. First trainer on the island, and as it turns out, here's the first Shadow Pokemon of many on the island. It's a Golduck. This was originally going to be my water type, actually, and we would have done this area a lot earlier, and I would have saved a lot of the side content until, like, literally right now, if I hadn't decided, no, I'll just use Quagsire, so, because I would have wanted to save as much of the late-game side content that got experience until, like, right now, so that way I could catch Golduck up, because as you can see, it's level 33, and you still need to purify it, so that'll take a little while to do. And, I mean, it has good moves. It gets Waterfall by purifying, but still, it's not as easy to keep raised as Quagsire is, so. Yeah, there you go. We'll get Arbok in here so that it can start doing some stuff for us. making it easier to catch all these ladies and gents. And as it turns out, here's another Shadow Pokemon, Shadow Sableye. It's not bad. It's doesn't have the best stats, but it has no weaknesses, so that helps a little bit. I think it could be a dual screener as well, which is pretty nice. So you can get Shadow Ball TMs for a few thousand Poke Coupons as well, so just do some Battle Bingo and you can grab it for it. So it's really not too bad. I think I'm gonna actually call Arbok while I set up some screens, and then we'll go from there. So let's set up a light screen, we'll set up a reflect, we'll start glaring, and then we'll shadow half, and we'll go from there. Just trying to figure out if it's possible to not have opinions regarding 14. Everything is a good thing in the eyes of the player base, and you're so tired of people being apologists, having excuses and defenses for everything. Now that's another tirade for another day. Believe me, I understand. It's, I'm going to tell you this, it is possible to have negative opinions of the game, even when people apologize for it, because just because they're being apologists doesn't mean that you have to take your opinion and shove it. I mean, you come to your opinion because you look at what's good and what's bad in the game, and you decide that the game is bad, more bad than good for you, and that's okay. They're also allowed to say, oh no, the game is, you know, good, and if you say differently, you're wrong. They're allowed to say that, but that shouldn't change your opinion on the game. And it's kind of the same argument that I always have about people when they're like, oh, well, you can't say your opinion on the game if it's negative because it'll make me feel bad about my opinion. It's like, okay, but that means your opinion isn't well-founded. Like, you should feel good about the game despite its flaws. You shouldn't feel good about the game only if nobody brings up its flaws. Like, that doesn't make sense. So, I don't know if I need to use a fresh water this early. Matter of fact, I'm not gonna, because I'm pretty sure there's no more battles right before the next Pokemon Center, so I think what I'll do instead is I'll just do this. Because Sableye is a Dark type, so I can't affect it with Psychic, which is what I want. Oh yeah, I can't glare it either, because it's a Ghost type. Well, that's gonna put a damper on my plan. Whoops. Oh well, it's fine. I was kind of hoping Golduck would KO Gardevoir here so I could get a Shadow half off without murdering myself next turn, but oh well. Not shoving it, you're just tired of people not seeing any bad in the game at all. Yeah, no, I get that. It bugs me too, believe me when I tell you, but I don't know. I don't try to change people's opinions when it comes to that sort of stuff. I just sort of sit there with my own, and I'm just like, if you don't like my opinion, you don't have to stay here, but, you know. Alright, Shadow half. Let's get some prior damage off here. I suppose I could yawn to get Sableye status before this all goes bad, but that's alright. Don't want to change opinions, and I don't think you should, for what it's worth. I think you should keep your opinion, even if the fan base doesn't like you for it. Not saying to be a pariah, but not saying I don't want you to change your opinion just because the fan base. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to smother your opinion when they do that sort of stuff. So don't let them smother you. But yeah, we'll save the tirade. It's fine. Alright, so let's see if we can yawn the Sableye to get it a little bit better off. Arbok has to recharge. That's fine. We'll throw a ball next turn. And I might want to call Arbok actually next turn as well, because once I've done this to put Sableye to sleep, I've done basically everything that I want to do in terms of catching these two. I could Shadow half again, but I'll do that after I get Arbok out of reverse mode so I can get it a little bit closer to being ready to go. Yeah, meanwhile, the guy who's in charge of the yacht when Greevil needs a cover story has 2 Shadow Pokemon. Boy, that's gonna be a little hard to cover up. Yeah, and that's probably why he has the Peon music too, right? Is because he's actually got, you know, all these Shadow Pokemon because he's in charge of the yacht. So it's, you know, it's just kind of funny that he has this. And I think he has this because he both has Shadow Pokemon and is a required battle in order to continue with the area. And because he's a required battle, they gave him a bunch of Shadow Pokemon. So let's see if those net balls work out for us. If this one doesn't, I'll just use another Shadow half. It's fine. Has a 4 times catch rate, though, on water and bug types, so I wouldn't be shocked if it works the first time every time. So, alright, Arbok, get out of reverse mode. There you go. Get it down to the last bar. That's good. Alright, so Sableye should be going to sleep this turn. I'll Shadow Half again just for the hell of it. But then we'll throw a ball and see how it works. Evidently, I'm not messing around because, like I said before, I bought 50 Ultra Balls to keep myself in order here. Just in case. You never know. You can't be too careful with how many you have. I still want to save the Luxury Ball, though, because there's a very specific Pokemon that I can catch with it. Although, personally, if I would make a recommendation about which one to catch with the Luxury Ball, I would say Zubat would be the best one to catch with the Luxury Ball because it needs a friendship in order to evolve, and friendship is hard to come by in this game, so... Yeah, I would say if you're going to use the Luxury Ball on anything, you should use it on Zubat, if you're going to use a Crobat in your team. If you're not, I wouldn't worry too much about it. You could save it for the one I'm going to use it on, but there's no guarantee that the one I'm going to use it on is even going to get caught by it. It has the second lowest catch rate out of any of the Shadow Pokemon. Actually, it has the lowest catch rate out of any of the Shadow Pokemon that are not legendary, now that I think about it, in the entire... No, not in the entire game. It is second lowest, because there's one in the post-game as well, so... Yeah. Okay, well, he's going to go report this. Let's hope he doesn't find Lavrina or something like that other scientist guy did. Should keep track of all the Shadow Pokemon you haven't snagged here. The list will be huge. There are a lot of Shadow Pokemon to snag here. If I remember correctly, there's like 36 to catch between the beginning and the end, and we just got 2, so... Now, granted, a bunch of them are in the last 2 battles of the game, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a whole team. So 11 out of those 36 are in the final 2 battles, but still, there's a lot to get. Well, I rode here on that thing, the Robo-Kyogre. Isn't it awesome? Yeah, he would have had to have gotten it from Dr. Kamenko, so I don't think he would have gotten it from him. I mean, it seats 2, so sure, why not? I'll take you with me when I leave. How's that sound? And for telling that guy you'll take him on a joyride, he gives you Battle CD 31. Nice. So yeah, there's the one that we could collect here. So we only need, I think, like 5 CDs at this point, and then we'll be ready to go in terms of having access to all 50. So, unfortunately, the elevator is staying up on the top floor. When Greeville and the peons took it, it didn't come back down. So now we got to go all the way around, because if we could go through that elevator, we would skip out on effectively 2/3 of this dungeon, but yeah. Unfortunately, we can't do that. Yeah, 50 Ultra Balls, you trying to catch a legendary Pokemon? Well, I looked at the Shadow Pokemon list, I saw Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, and Lugia, and I was like, we ain't playing games here. So, it does have good Final Dungeon music. Yeah, I haven't turned it up just yet, but I'll do it at some point, I think. So, don't you love how there's a second dock here? Yeah, just in case, you never know, he might have a visitor. Oh boy. Alright, well, Golduck, you got demoted from being a team player, but we'll let you hang around in the Purified Chamber anyway. So, Sableye, you get to go there too. I guess I could check their stats out while I'm at it too. Do you have any advantage here? No, I don't think you do. Here, no. Here, yes you do. Here, and you get a flow bonus. Nice. I wonder what Jaeger's barking at. Probably the neighbors again. I keep telling them not to do that. Yeah, I mean, that's about right for a Sableye in terms of stats. It's probably pretty neutral nature. Maybe its special attack is a little higher than normal. Maybe it's like plus special attack minus speed. I don't know. I guess we'll check Primeape while we're here as well. Oops. Wrong one. There we go. I don't know if we already checked it or not, but... It's about normal, I think. Looks pretty normal to me for a... Oh, it's Lax nature, so it's not quite normal. So... I don't even remember what Lax does. As for Golduck, yeah, I mean, that's about right. Maybe special defense is a little low. It's got the damp ability, prevents self-destructing moves, which would come in handy in a very late-game battle at Mount Battle. But it could also have the Cloud 9 ability, which would make it perfect as a Pokemon that you could send out for one of the super boss fights of the game. Well, quote-unquote super boss fights. It's one of the post-game fights that has higher levels than the final boss, so... Unfortunately, we didn't get one with Cloud 9, but even if we did, I'm not using it. So, what Cloud 9 does is it prevents the effects of weather, even if they're already on the field. So, I was thinking about using it for the post-game fight just for that, but yeah, we would have had to make sure that we got Cloud 9, and of course we didn't just there. So, the likelihood of getting it was it was about 50-50, and I said I don't feel like grinding or resetting to figure out if I got it or not, so. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl have older catch rates. 12 Dust Balls later, and a 1/4 HP Uxie won't stay in the ball. Oh my god. Nothing like... I do remember distinctly from playing, when I played Diamond and Pearl, that the legendaries were ridiculous to grab. Like, I remember them being hell in a handbasket for me to get the roaming ones and then a whole bunch of other ones. So, ooh, I got Serene Grace. That's not bad. That will make my Thunderbolts do a bunch of paralysis if they even live so long as to actually be able to take a Thunderbolt. Psychic will also have, what does it have, normally a 20% chance, so it's 40, I think, now, of lowering special defense. Not that we really need that all that badly for this battle, but, you know. Hell, I'll probably KO the Dunsparce with Brick Break anyway, even though I'm intimidated. Yeah. Okay, so we can take care of Roselia, and we can most likely take care of Spinda with the Brick Break, even though I'm intimidated. And this battle has no shadows. Should give you a little bit of a clue as to which way was the correct way. There were two paths that we could take going through here, and, well, Ed's normal strategy of, I'll take the one on the left, is unfortunately not going to work for us, but we'll see that in just a minute, and we'll find out why. It's funny, since your first ever post-game run of Diamond had you barely making it through Faraway Spring, and you caught Giratina at full HP with a Dusk Ball. Laughed so hard, that never happens. Yeah, I don't usually have that kind of luck with legendaries. Usually they take a lot longer for me to catch. The luck that I had with the legendaries in Let's Go Pikachu was actually really high for me. Moltres, I think, was even a little bit better than I usually do, and Moltres was the one that took longer than any of the other ones. But I caught Articuno and Zapdos in that one in like 6 or 7 Ultra Balls combined. It was ridiculous. I mean, I think I wasted a few of them because I accidentally missed the Pokemon when I threw them, but still, way better than I usually do. So, yeah, this area is a dead end. There's nothing here except for that one trainer, so I figured I'd take care of it, and then we would go around. 30 plus balls average for you. 30 is average for you. 30 to 40, really. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what it is for me, too, usually, when it comes to catching legendaries, so. Okay, Gardevoir's 44. I'll leave you two in for now. But we're going to need to bring Arbok back out in just a minute because there's a few more Shadow Pokemon to catch in this room. So, I think there's, what, 6 in this room, if I recall correctly, from 3 separate trainers. So, I don't quite remember, but we'll see. Ooh, the Navigator? Oh, he had to go report something. I don't know what he's up to, but... I mean, that's not exactly far from the truth, but... Sure, I'll race you. Where are we racing? End of the dungeon? If I ran with you, I might get away with not fighting the trainers on the way. Of course, that wouldn't really help with the Shadow Pokemon, would it? So, damn, the game's giving me a reason to actually fight all the trainers for once. I don't just have to do it because I feel like I need to complete the game, you know? Oh, well. Chaser Fergie's a little bit interesting, though, because he actually sends out one of his shadows first, a Shadow Dodrio. Why he doesn't have the Cypher Peon theme, I don't know, but yeah, it's there. So we got a Zatsu. I can probably KO that with Thunderbolt. And I think I'm gonna wait to fight Dodrio until after I take care of the rest. Like, I get his other Shadow Pokemon out, basically, and then I'll fight Dodrio. But for now, let's just take care of his other 2. Because he has 2 other Pokemon besides his Shadows, so if we take care of them first, we should be okay. Palkia's Spatial Rend looks cool in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. So glad it's Dragon, though. Just blocked it with your Gardevoir after throwing 3 Charms to minimize Palkia's attack. See, that's nice, yeah, because you've still got the Fairy typing. They added that, and then they kept that in, even though it's, you know, trying to be faithful to the originals. They said, nah, these are too good to not keep in. Oh, now I shouldn't have switched, because Braylon could have done a bunch of damage to that, and I don't got to worry about Dodrio doing Flying-type moves on me, so... Oh, well, it's fine. Rock Tomb would KO, I think, so I don't think I'm going to do that. Let's just get Arbok in here, because I should be able to KO the Whiscash with Psychic, because I have the level advantage. It's not that powerful, but I might get Aggron to 44 as a result of this. So. No, probably not, because it's just a Whiscash, but I might get close. We'll see. Oh, yeah, it has a high crit chance. I forgot. See, I played Diamond originally, so I didn't really get the chance to use Palkia all that much. But yeah, it does. It has a high crit chance, so... And that does. It ruins your Charm Strat, because crits just cut right through that, so... Speaking of things cutting right through things, here's Raticate cutting right through not being an early game Pokemon. I would have thought we would have seen that in Phaenax City, but apparently not, so that's fun. Alright, so now we'll do our usual strat. We'll get up some screens. Definitely want to reflect up for both of these guys. And then we'll glare them, we'll Shadow Half them, we'll go from there. Yeah, I haven't... The only time I've ever used the Rattata line was when I did my first playthrough of Let's Go Pikachu. I kept the Alolan Rattata that you get in Cerulean City, and I kept it as a Rattata for the entire game because it was normal Dark type, so that Dark typing really helped out with like pretty much every Psychic type in the game. The vast majority of them did not have a coverage move for Dark types, which was pretty ridiculous, but also pretty funny to watch, so... I don't think I even need Light Screen. I think I just need to get the Gardevoir the hell out of here, because that's a lot of defense that I'm losing. And that was that Shadow down? I forget. Didn't use it at all until Pokemon Y, Run 5, yeah. Eradicate's just kind of never been good, to be honest. It just doesn't really do a whole lot, unfortunately. It just doesn't have the stats to be better than most things that you'll find, unfortunately. So, you know what would have been nice for this Arbok and made it even better than it already is if it had, if she had Intimidate. That would have been fantastic. Would have made using her even easier, because then I could just Intimidate things and go from there. But does Arbok even get Intimidate as a normal ability? I don't remember now that I think about it. Well, let's call Aggron. I'm not going to actually use an attack with it, but it'll waste the turn, so then I can Shadow Half next turn after I glare everything. So, well, this will get rid of my Reflect, so there's another Shadow Shed. Probably shouldn't be seeing that too much after this, but it's still there occasionally. Shouldn't be a big deal for this battle, though. I mean, I have something with a Mondo defense, and I have Arbok, which takes, like, no damage from other Pokemon that are Shadow Pokemon, so, you know. Alright, so let's Protect and Shadow Half, and then we'll start throwing some Ultra Balls. When you're on Showdown and you don't have an out to your opponent looping stall moves, yeah, I mean, I guess that's true, yeah. Gotta be careful with that. It actually looks pretty cool. Sucks that you didn't use screens as a kid. Yeah, it's an interesting animation. It just doesn't really, you don't really see it that often because how often do you really use screens in this game, you know? So. Yeah, that's the problem right there, is Shadow Down. Might even need to switch Arbok out or let it faint so it can, you know, get its defense back in a minute. But if I catch the Raticate in the next turn, it should be okay. I won't be able to get reverse mode off just yet because I gotta recharge, but that's okay. We should be fine. Let's go grab... I gotta make sure I don't use too many of my Ultra Balls, though, before I get to the end, because then I'll have to go back to Gateon Port and buy even more. So let's see if we can use a Great Ball and get away with it on this Raticate. Dodrio, I don't think we will, but Raticate we might. So. More like how many players use screens in Pokemon games. Yeah, I don't know that there are too many, to be honest. It is something that I haven't seen, really, in this game. I've seen people use some of the, like, stat-dropping moves that you get, like Charm or Feather Dance or that sort of stuff. I've seen that being used in a playthrough, but screens I usually don't see very often in Coliseum or XD, and they're really good, especially in double battles, so I don't know why nobody uses them, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just too good. I'm just too good at the game! I'm gonna Protect again, actually. Might not work, but... yeah, it worked. Okay, cool. We'll throw another ball after we Shadow Half again. If Arbok faints at this point, it's fine, because these guys are now at like 26 or 25% of their maximum HP, so that should make catching them a little easier. Now, we will have to be a little careful with our Shadow Half use in this dungeon, but it's going to take a little while before that actually becomes a problem that we'll have to deal with, so don't worry about it for now, but keep it in mind and think about it for later, so. You did good, Arbok. Thanks for all the Shadow Halfing. Let's send Quagsire in. You only see it in competitive, to be honest. You never see screens. Okay, Kid Me didn't know. Screens are OP-AF. Yeah, screens are really OP in this game, but don't worry about it if your kid self didn't know. It's okay. It's just something that you learn with time, that's all. So I'm going to yawn just to waste the turn. And then let's toss another Great Ball, and we'll see where it goes. But yeah, I don't want to damage these guys anymore because I run the risk of KOing them with literally anything that I use at this point, bar Earthquake, when Dodrio's the only one left, so... Okay, there's Raticate. So now we'll just get Dodrio, and then we'll be good. But yeah, this is why I wanted to use Shadow Half, because it just makes it so much simpler. Because you can tank these Shadow hits with Arbok, or with whatever your Shadow Half user is. And then in addition to that, you don't run the risk of accidentally critting something and then it fainting and you having to run all the way out of the dungeon, see Mirror B so you can get the Pokemon again. This is just such a safer option that I said, no, there's no way I can't use this. So that was like the first thing I thought about when I was making a team for this one is, okay, how do I incorporate Shadow Half users if I already have 6 team members? And that was why I said, okay, so I'll wait to get my 6th team member until we get here. Because then I can use Shadow Half to its full potential. And I don't have to worry about, you know, not catching things, so. Nice to see Shadow Half is the Hyper Beam of Shadow moves. Love seeing moves that are so OP that you have to recharge after using them. And this one actually is warranted, right? Like, it's Super Fang on steroids, basically. So I would warrant that as being okay, I have to recharge afterwards. But it works with the mechanics because you can't throw more than one Pokeball at a time anyway. So it just says, okay, so you have to recharge with this one, so throw a Pokeball with your other Pokemon. If it doesn't work, Shadow Half again, and just keep going. So yeah, it's really, really well structured as a move, and that's why I like it so much. So 2-turn moves are really cool, but they kind of suck. I mean, I would agree with both of those, yeah. So, oh, Primeape's ready, good. But they're so cool. Yeah, Field-wide Super Fang, it's great. I love it, it's fantastic. Can't crit. It's effective on everything. You don't have to worry about it not working on ghosts like Super Fang. You recharge afterwards, but that works with the game's mechanics. Genius Sonority thought of everything with this fucking move. It's fantastic. Okay, so what I'm going to do with Pokemon that are purified, starting with Primeape, is I'm actually going to take them out of here and put them in the PC to save room for the other Shadow Pokemon that we have. And we'll just purify them all in a big old batch when everything is said and done. So yeah, let's stick Raticate in there. We'll leave Primeape there. We'll take Dodrio out here and stick it in here, because I can actually potentially get a flow bonus by doing that, but I didn't, so that's okay. And yeah, we'll just purify them as we go along. We'll probably get at least 9 Pokemon ready to be purified by the time we're done with the area, and we'll just move them around in the PC as we go. So I'll be doing some more walking to purify things in the post-game, but that's okay. People who aren't Game Freak have a ton of time and experience with seeing what Pokemon is and what they want it to be. Isn't that why fanfiction is this? Someone else has an idea of how they want a universe to be. What impresses me the most, though, about Genius Sonority is that this is their 2nd game that they made ever as a team. Pokemon Coliseum was the first video game that they made as a team of developers. They were with other companies before that for a couple of games, but this is the first, this one here, XD, is the 2nd video game that they ever made. Meanwhile, Game Freak at this point has made a dozen games and still doesn't necessarily know everything they want to do with the Pokemon series, and Genius Sonority just comes out of nowhere and says, yep, here you go. One of the best Pokemon games of all time, we made it. Good luck. That's why it impresses me so much with Genius Sonority, and that's why I want them to do more Pokemon games, because they pulled it out so well in the 2nd game that they made. The first game wasn't bad either, but the 2nd game, that they were able to make something this impressive, that's great. So, but yeah, it is true. That's why, you know, you have fan fiction and other methods for people to tell stories and to fix problems that they think they have with the series, so. Oh, I mean, I could point you back to the thing, so. Or we could battle first, that works. Sounds good, because I don't ever half-ass these battles, so... Well, actually I do, but not usually, so... Excuse me. He has an Aaron. That's a little low on the totem pole for where we currently are, but that's okay. Alright, so I guess we'll just Giga Drain the course. Well, I could probably KO it with Brick Break. As a matter of fact, it probably has lower defense, so I think I will. And I don't think Aaron's going to survive a Thunderbolts. Sorry, little guy. But you're in my way, so... He said go all out, and yeah. Too bad the last Genius Sonority Pokemon involvement was in making Pokemon Shuffle that money sink. Yeah, I know. It's unfortunate, but, I mean... It would have been a little better if it was something that wasn't, like, a money grab. I don't know, the first two games that they had them make were really good at the very least, and from what I understand, the other ones weren't too bad either. I've played Battle Revolution, that was also Genius Sonority. 5 attack again! But, yeah, that one was a little less involved than this one is, so... But still, I mean, most of the games that they've made, at least in my experience, have been pretty damn good, so... I haven't played Pokemon Shuffle, though, so I may have to eat my words about that one. So... You like Shuffle? Up until the difficulty spikes almost unreasonably high in an attempt to get players to buy extra turns. Oh, yeah. Gotta love when they do that. Was it a mobile game, or was it like a... No, it had to have been a mobile game, right? Because they want players to buy extra turns, so that's just a mobile game staple. So. There are limited events to get some Pokemon. Oh, boy. Yeah, I love when they do limited events, too. That's fantastic. Oh, it was a 3DS exclusive originally? Okay. Digital download only. And they wanted you to buy extra turns with real-world money in a 3DS game? That seems backwards as fuck. But... Alright, well anyway, we defeated Sailor Golos. There will be several trainers along the way here that won't have Shadow Pokemon, but, yeah, most of them will have at least 2, so... Or rather, no, actually most of them will have at least 1. There are a few single Shadow Pokemon individuals strewn about here. It just kind of depends on the trainer and their Pokemon, so... Oh, and then they ported it to mobile? Okay, well... I guess porting it to mobile would make them more money, so... Not that that's what I would want them to do, but, you know. Hello. Well, that depends. What do you think is... suspicious? Can't do any gain axing with my voice because I got this pop filter right here. Can't just, like, put my face directly up to the mic like this. And do super volume. And I wouldn't want to do that anyway because it kind of would hurt a lot of people's ears, which is why I'm talking a little lower right now than I usually do because I'm right on top of the mic. Anyway. Okay, so we got a Giraffe Rig, we got a Sneasel. I'm just gonna Earthquake, I think. I could, you know, Call and then Rock Tomb, but I'm just gonna Earthquake. It's probably fine. Oh, light screen. I don't know if that's gonna help you, Giraffe Rig. Sorry to say it. You laugh, said, man, they're done pretending this isn't a mobile game. Yeah, they knew at that point. They were like, this is our future. We're going to our future. Good job, Agron. Keep yourself protected. That is a dead Giraffe Rig, 100%. Sorry there, buddy. I like Giraffe Rig. It's actually one of my more favorite psychic types, but I don't know if I'm going to get an excuse to use it in any of the Pokemon games that we're going to be playing. Maybe in Johto. We'll see. Agron's 44, so that's good. Hunter Jetsal has a Golbat. And I think he had one more, right? Yeah, Seeking. Okay. That's cool. Well, I ain't going to get very far with Earthquake with Golbat, so I guess I'll just Ice Beam, and then let's send in somebody else to handle Seeking. I guess Gardevoir can handle it. Get a little extra experience for it, because Gardevoir and Agron are the ones that need more experience than anybody else on the team to get their levels, so if we give them a little bit of extra, it'll keep them relatively close to all of us with their levels, so that's good. I want to get Flareon back in here, but sending Flareon in on a Seeking is asking for it, so I don't think so. Oh, Flail. Okay, that's fine. Just do this, see what it does to Golbat, and we'll go from there. I wasn't thinking it was going to KO. Even with our level advantage, I think that would be asking a little much, but, you know. Just thought it was funny. It felt like a mobile game at launch, and yet it was a 3DS eShop exclusive. Then finally, they ported it to mobile. Yeah, as you would expect at that point, right? Oh, Seeking lived a Thunderbolt? Wow. That's impressive. It's gonna flail somebody now. Oh, no. Okay, use Peck instead. Alright. Fair enough. I probably just... Well, no, Psychic wouldn't have KO'd either then, would it? I didn't take away the magnet from you, did I, Gardevoir? I wouldn't think a Seeking would survive that, but maybe it's just got a high special defense nature or something. I don't know how that works with NPC trainers. Like, I don't know if the natures are random or what the case might be, but it's possible, I suppose, considering what happened just here, so... I think before we go any further, though, I'm going to go back to the healing machine, so that way we're topped off for the first major battle of Citydark Isle, because that's coming up in probably, like, the next battle, so... Well, I'm suspiciously strong. I would give that, I guess. Most people wouldn't expect a kid to be this strong, but, you know. Looked at that 15 mobile game that launched back in Stormblood to see if it was even still alive. It's getting consistent 1-star reviews, but had a 3.6 on the Google Play Store. I think your boyfriend said it best. Man, those fake reviews are really keeping up the score. Yeah, that sounds like it. So yeah, before you go through that door, make sure you're fully healed up and you save the game, because once you go through there, you're going to initiate the first mini-boss fight of the area. And since it's a final dungeon in a Genius Sonority Pokemon game, you know what that means when it comes to mini-boss fights. Oh boy. Yeah, I never really bothered with, because I think there was a couple of mobile games, actually, that were 15 related. I think King's Knight came out as a mobile game, and then there was another one that they did, like, a couple of years later. I forget what it was called, but I could have sworn there were two, actually. And, I never really bothered with either of them, to be honest. They never really tripped my trigger. Most mobile games don't, to be fair, but, you know. I do still like me some Plants vs. Zombies now and then, but that wasn't a mobile game to begin with, so that's probably why I like it. So, okay, let's save before we go in here. Again, we'll probably be saving after most battles in this area, just in case we run into Shadow Pokemon, because I don't want to repeat having to do them again, or having to do any of the battles again, frankly. Just want to keep moving forward. It's like 5 seconds of my life versus 5 minutes. Oh, here comes Lavrina. Guess that navigator must have reported to her that we were here. I wish I could say good to see you again, but it's never good to see you, so, you know. It sure is. I did good. Oh. Well, why didn't you just do that before, then? Why were you slacking on the job before? Why did Greevil let you get away with that? Actually, I think there's a little bit of hidden lore that might be as to why Greevil would let her get away with slacking on the job. We'll talk about that probably in the last video of this series, so. Sure. I would love to see it, yeah, so I could see if I could actually purify it despite your claims. But you're not gonna let me, are you? Nope, not without a fight. So here we go again. So we have to fight Cypher Administrator Lavrina again. And her team's a little tougher this time than it was before, because she's traded out her relatively tame team from before for some better combatants here. She starts with a Gardevoir and a Gorbis, so we already know we're in for a riot. That's fun. Don't understand. It looked like a decent concept, but you've heard the packs you can buy in-game come in $5, $20, $50, and $100 varieties. That's absurd for a mobile game. Apparently, after you buy the ones that aren't $100, they disappear from the shop. Yeah, that would be enough to warrant 1 star from me, that's for sure. Yeah, the pink-haired brat, absolutely. She's back! And I'm gonna Earthquake her Pokemon and see how much it does. Oh good, attract. How about no? How about Earthquake instead? Goodbye. Oh man. Quagsire is not playing games. He was ready. He came to this battle born ready. He was like, nope, no attraction. You are not Venus. We are not doing this again. Oh boy. He's doing pretty good on stats though. I'm actually pretty impressed because Quillfish is a little more offensively oriented, and that was what we used in the last game, but he's doing pretty good in terms of his stat spread there for his attack and special attack. It's getting us decent places, I suppose. I should get him the hell out of here, though, because he's attracted, and there's a Roselia on the field, so let's maybe not deal with that. What I want in instead? Probably Breloom, actually, because Breloom's pretty good against both of these, so... And actually, if I do that, I can Earthquake again, so... Just keep Earthquaking! Eventually, we'll bring the whole island down on top of them, although, again, that wouldn't be very good for the Shadow Pokemon, so I guess I gotta slow my roll a little bit. Back up. Take 25 from an Earthquake. That's how strong Aggron is. Srelzelia, if it lives, I'll be impressed, yeah. There you go. Easy. Just get rid of all of them. Sees Gorbis, better Pokemon. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it's better than Love Disc. I mean, we're setting the bar a little low here. So, compared to Love Disc, it's a better Pokemon, so... How about that? Everything's relative. Not for this Farfetch'd, though, because it's a Shadow Farfetch'd. It's still bad, but it's a Shadow Pokemon, so we gotta catch it. Here's a much better flying type if you're still jonesing for one. Altaria. It's a Dragon flying type, which automatically gives it decent resistances. It gets Dragon Dance at level 40, and it's level 36 to begin with, so... Probably one of the better Shadow Pokemon to catch in the last dungeon here. I mean, a lot of them are really good because they're all fully evolved, but Altaria in particular is a fairly strong contender for this dungeon, so... Yeah, I would pick it over the others if I was given a choice of the ones so far. So, all right, let's get Arbok in here, because that'll help out with what we've got going on here. They're both flying, so I guess Aggron isn't really going to do a whole lot of good against either one of them with Earthquake. I'll call this turn, and then I'll protect next turn when I Shadow Half. We'll go from there. Little, it's endgame. It better be a better team. Yeah, having her Pokemon practically double in level as they should. Yes, they have, actually, because she had them in, like, 18 to 20 range back in the Cypher Lab, and now they're here at 35, 36, so, you know. Not much of a bar, but still, the bar being on the ground means that it should be easy to get over it. Yeah, that's fair. Implies that Love Disc is good enough to be considered bad. Yeah, actually, that's true, yeah. The only redeeming feature of Love Disc, you hit both of your Shadow Panics? That's 60% accuracy, bro. What the hell? But basically, okay, I'm just going to Shadow Half. It's fine. I'll Yellow Flute it off, and we'll go from there. For Arbok, specifically, that is. But I think the only redeeming value of Love Disc is the fact that it can have Heart Scales. Because that's the only redeeming value that I can personally see out of it, to be honest. So it just isn't all that great. Yeah, it is. It's just a heart scale generator, pretty much, so. And the only reason why you'd want to use it is if you're implicitly trying to challenge yourself, so. Yeah. At least that's the way I see it. I wouldn't use a Love Disc. It's just not good. Like, there are so many water types. Why would you ever use a Love Disc? There are so many better water types. Like, most not fully evolved Pokemon are better water types than Love Disc, so. Yeah. Alright, we gotta get this Farfetch'd the fuck out of here because it's definitely trying to get on my nerves with this whole Shadow Panic shenanigans, so... I guess I'll just throw an Ultra Ball at it and see if I catch it. I don't want to use the Luxury Ball on it just yet, so... We'll glare at Altaria to make it a little easier to catch, and we'll do it to Farfetch'd too if it decides to be ornery, but... Hopefully it just goes down without too much of a fight. I shouldn't have said anything, should I? You could use a Spheal and get more mileage. I mean, that's probably true, yeah. You like the symbolism of its form in the Pokedex entries? The Farfetch'd smoked the weed in its wings. I mean, Smoked Leek, I don't know how good that actually is, but it's probably not bad. So, alright, let's just Shadow Half again. Aggron, just Protect again, because I don't feel like... Oh yeah, I'm confused. I forgot about that. Well, Aggron, you're going to go down this one, and actually Arbok's confused too, so I probably should have done something about that, but it'll be fine, I think. Might be cutting into my revives a little bit, but that's okay. Ow. Imagine if calling cured confusion too instead of raising accuracy. Yeah, that'd be pretty nice, actually. I'd be down for that, so... Alright, we'll get Flareon in here because, I don't know, at this point I'm just throwing Pokemon out to faint, basically, so that I can get the Shadow Halves that I need off and and catch stuff. Here you go, have another one. Ow. Okay. And now at this point, I should probably try to heal Arbok and also toss a ball. Or I could just revive it later and be fine. Shadow Break, I don't think is new. I think something else had it, but it's more powerful than Shadow Rush. It's probably like 75 or 80 power, so. Not the most powerful physical Shadow move, but it's there. So, yeah, there's that. Let's get Gardevoir in here, actually. It's not a bad tank for this little situation. I can waste a turn by reflecting, so... Oh, it even got Natural Cure. That's not bad. Rave Party, but it's a bit dark, yeah. Just a little bit dark, yeah. Alright, let's try again with this Farfetch'd. And then we'll try with Altaria. I might revive Arbok, though, as well, just to glare. But we'll see. No, actually, Quagsire can yawn, so I guess I could just get that in here. If I really need it. Okay, well, there's Farfetch'd, so that's good. You hated fighting Shadow Sky as a kid? Yeah, it kind of... It's a little bit unfortunate because it's like Sandstorm plus... It's like Sandstorm and Rain Dance kind of mixed together. What it does is it actually... It deals damage at the end of each turn, as you've seen a few times at this point. But it also raises the power of any Shadow move used by 50%. And of course, if they're using Shadow Sky, then obviously they have a Shadow Pokemon on the field that directly benefits from that. And if you're not using Shadow Pokemon in your team to tank... Well, even if you are, actually, in some cases it really won't work out too well for you. So, alright, let's get Quagsire in here just in case I don't catch Altaria in this Ultra Ball. Which is distinctly possible. But we'll yawn it, and we'll go from there. Hail and Sandstorm pissed you off so much. Probably, in Gen 3 specifically, probably my least favorite weather condition is probably Sandstorm, just because it's tied to the Sand Veil ability, and anything that increases evasiveness as an ability or as a move, I've never been a big fan of it. We've talked about this, but yeah, I've never been a big fan of anything that raises evasiveness. It just doesn't. For me, I don't like it. It's not. You're wasting my time, game. So. You know how when you try to catch a trainer's Pokemon, it says how they block it? Yeah. Yes, it does. Doesn't work with the Snag Machine, though. If I recall correctly, the implication of the Snag Machine is that it's happening at a faster... Like, you're throwing the ball faster than the trainer can see it. So that's why it doesn't... That's why the screen goes dark, and that's why the trainer can't block it. So... I mean, hell, if you saw a pulsating hand of light coming directly at you, would you step in the way of it for your Pokemon? I don't know if I would. I love my Pokemon, but I'm not getting eviscerated by a pulsating hand of light from my Pokemon. I guess I'm not Ash Ketchum. I'm gonna have to start reviving stuff pretty soon, I think. Yeah, I'll send Breloom in. It's fine. As a matter of fact, I might revive Arbok at the end of this turn. Although Yawn should get us in good shape here, so... And there goes Shadow Sky. That'll make Shadow Break a little bit less effective, which should work okay for us. Just use it again, Quagsire. Not that it's going to do us any good. I'm just going to waste the turn, let it go to sleep, and then throw a ball. Again, I'm trying to conserve Ultra Balls a little bit so that way I don't have to go back for any, even at the end of the dungeon, if possible. So... But yeah, if a lot of your Pokemon faint, don't worry about it. There are several healing points throughout this dungeon to allow you to go back and, you know, take care of them, so... Unfortunately, I got rid of False Swipe, which makes this part a little bit tougher than it has to be, but that's okay. We'll just Call. Call is such a nice feature, because you can just waste a turn with it, so... It's also explained in early Gateon port. It's a lame explanation, but okay. Fair enough. Dude said, man, it looked like you stole my Pokemon funny stuff, and we did. Just like we just stole Lovrina's Pokemon, so... Well, maybe you shouldn't have been working on the side of evil then, Lavrina, and maybe it wouldn't have worked out like this. We did. We definitely stole that Letty buff from him. And we have not told him yet. I have not gone back and apologized for my definitely righteous action with that guy. So, yeah, I don't know about that. We'll see. Well, there she goes. Let's hope that the authorities got my message and they'll be waiting for her when she somehow gets off the island, despite the fact that the cruiser's never gonna leave after this. Like, where do the administrators go? Do they, like, try to swim for the mainland? Because they're going to get torn up by the storms if they do. So my only assumption is that they're all going to be waiting on the Luxo cruiser. Like, they're waiting for their parents to come back from the store or something. Like, they wait in, like, your kids would, not your kids, but kids might wait in the car for their parents to go into the store. It'll only be a couple of minutes. And the kids are just sitting in there like, man, it's been like 10. Where are they? Do all the administrators do that when they're just... They're just waiting for Grievel to come back. It's like, hey, where is he? I don't know. Oh, good. We've all got about the same amount to the next one. So. Okay, well, anyway, let's put those two new Shadow Pokemon in the PC. Well, the literal PC. The Purified Chamber is also... the acronym is PC, so that's fine. Primeape will leave you there for now. I could take the stick from Farfetch'd, but it's only useful for Farfetch'd anyway, so we'll leave it with the stick. Probably. It's like its emotional support stick. I couldn't find a better word for it. Emotional support object, I guess. So, there's a Dragon Fang from Altaria, which I suppose I could take from it, but I'm never going to use that either, so... And we'll just leave it here. Basically, I already have a Sharp Beak, so I won't need the Dragon Fang, so I don't know if that clues anybody into my eventual choice of Pokemon, but there you go. We'll stick Altaria in there, though. And we'll move right along from there. We'll go through the elevator, and then I think we'll save after we do that, because... Well, maybe I should do it before, just in case somebody ambushes me with Shadow Pokemon before I... Like, as soon as I get down here. I don't think so, but... You can never be too careful, right? Yeah, just laugh and run away, exactly. Yeah, Comfort Object is, yeah, most likely what I wanted to say, so... The defense on Aggron, it's an Aggron, so what do you expect? Well, yeah, but still, I mean, like... Defense is absurd. 172 before level 50. Yeah, it's gonna have like 350 defense by the end game. So, like, if I was to get it to 100, it would probably have about 350, which I think is pretty close to max now that I think about it. I think Aggron tops out at like I want to say like 390 something. So that's not too bad considering it's I wasn't fishing for good IVs or anything. So, the Whirlpool room. They use this room, from what I understand, for hydroelectric power. So that's pretty interesting. Can't fault Cypher for being behind the times when it comes to alternative energy sources, because they're trying everything in the book. Hello there. But I want to see the hydroelectric dam. Come on, lady. Cut a guy a break. Only used one once. Those are rookie numbers. We got to get you veteran numbers. We got to get you hyper trained. All right. See what we got here. I saw Seviper. What was the other one? Oh, Crobat. Okay, that's fine. Let's get some prior damage off on the Crobat while I call Aggron, and then I'll Earthquake and Protect, I think. That'll get rid of Seviper, and then we'll go from there. Hell, I might even, if I get lucky, I might even KO Crobat with this Flamethrower. Flareon's special attack is not low, so... We'll see. Might get lucky. Yeah, okay, that's close enough to where I'm not really too shocked. Are you trying a flinch strategy, lady? I'm a little faster than you, except for the Crobat. That's not gonna be faster than that, unfortunately. So, all right. So Flareon, put up a shield. Get that air cutter. Okay, so there goes Seviper. And now we'll deal with Crobat next turn. Personally love and hate hyper training. You think it's a good thing for people who want to EV train, but needing bottle caps is kind of bullshit. You'd rather just spam horde battles. You like hyper training as a mini game? Yeah, the mini game that they introduced in X and Y, I actually liked that. I used that quite a bit myself for a little bit of like EV training for the competitive meta game in Gen 6. So I approve of that mini game. I didn't really like the idea of using bottle caps because you have to get to level 100 anyway to get there, and it's like, well, how do you expect me to get to level 100? Although they're for IVs, not EVs, so I guess you could just do your EV training early with the minigame training, and then you can get your IVs up from there. But I don't know, I never had a lot of luck getting a whole bunch of bottle caps, personally. I think at one point I did go hunting for them, and I got like 2. And that was from like probably 3-4 hours worth of work. I was like, okay, this is a little iffy in terms of the amount that I'm getting. So let's put that new Rock Tomb TM to use for probably 10 HP, but that's okay. Minigame is really fun. So you beat all the stages without using the shield. You didn't know there was a shield? Me too. High five! Yeah, I don't think I discovered the shield until pretty late in the minigame, so... But it's good that you managed to beat all of them without shielding. That's pretty cool. It's, I think that's better off than I did, because I think once I discovered the shield, I used it pretty liberally, but... Yeah. Yeah, the music was pretty good in it, too, from what I remember, so... Literally Nights in the Nightmare, no one does all the fucking tutorials. Literally the beginning of Final Fantasy Tactics, The War of the Lions. Tried to give me a fucking college-ass dissertation with a 3-hour-long PowerPoint slide to teach me how to play the game without giving me any in-battle tutorials. What the fuck, Final Fantasy Tactics? That's why I've never gotten into Tactics, incidentally, because they always want to give you pages of tutorials without giving you any battle experience. Although I think they fixed that in some of the later Tactics games, but Tactics itself never did that, which is why I'm kind of a half-assed Ivalice Alliance fan, because I really, out of the Ivalice Alliance, I really only like the World and 12. I don't like Tactics, like, at all, in terms of a gameplay perspective. I think if I looked at the plot, I would like it, but from a gameplay perspective, so. Even thinks about alternative energy sources in his sleep. That man is dedicated. Oh boy, bunch of researchers, speaking of dedication. How we doing here? Not bad. I should probably bring Quagsire in, though, because I think Agron is pretty close to the level. We'll bring it in maybe a little later on in the fight. So. That's a rhyme. Excuse me. Yes, that's true, although I don't know if you can create those kind of currents when taking a bath. I think you need to generate a lot of energy in order to generate that kind of a current, so... Where's the door? Oh. I just gotta go up here. Okay. I was like, wait a minute, how do I get around here? Something like that, you could say that. Oh, so the waves aren't a natural phenomenon. You generate that using this whirlpool machine. Okay, so this isn't necessarily an alternative energy source. It is hydroelectric power, but you're using it to create the storms. Okay. Well, that's pretty interesting, actually. You guys are pretty high-tech, that's for sure. Let's see what we got in here. Ooh, 5 Ultra Balls. That'll help. That practically takes care of all the stock that I've already used. Good. There's like an hour's worth of tutorials, yet it's a bullet hell that has a shield that people figure out super late into the game, like 30-plus maps in out of 48. Yeah, I don't know about that one. That's a little much. So. Well, hey, I mean, I guess if that's how you look at your job, how could you go wrong? You just have to look at, ignore the fact that you're manipulating Pokemon's emotions against their will, and everything's fine. Actually, I should probably save before this guy, shouldn't I? Because he's guarding the elevator, which means he's probably got some shadow Pokemon. Do not underestimate Cypher this time around. Yeah, for sure. Knights in Yggdra Union are sagas, 48 maps without the extra maps. Oh, okay, gotcha. But I want a medal. How could you take my agency away from me, Cypher Peon Litnar? You can't do that to me. I'm a child. You can't tell me what to do. It goes in one ear and out the other. Major Union caps out at 51 maps if you play the PSP version. Okay, so then there's more downloadable content in the other versions. Gotcha. Well, more extra maps anyway. I don't know about downloadable content, but extra maps, probably. I could Earthquake right now. I kind of want to Earthquake right now. I'm going to Earthquake right now. It won't hit Misdreavus at all, but I can take care of that next turn, so... Looking back, you think they tell you about the shield in the tutorial, and you never use... Oh, you never end up using it anyway. That's okay. It's, you know... It's just kind of something that's there, and not necessarily need to see it, you know. Used and then forgot it. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, because it's not really necessary in a lot of the early stuff, so... Oh, the PSP mobile version has 2 new maps and a bonus map for those of us gunning for the worst timeline. Oh boy. The maps determine the timeline. That's great. Alright, so I got a target for Shadow Ball. We got this right here. I don't think that I'll be able to KO Clado with a Water Pulse, but I'll do the best I can. And then I'll just do something with it next turn. Gotta tell you what, though, friend, if you think having a bunch of Pokemon with Levitate is going to prevent me from using Earthquake, you got another thing coming. Tell you what might prevent me from using a whole bunch of Area of Effect moves, though, is another Shadow Pokemon. And as it turns out, here's one. 1.5. A Shadow Kangaskhan. Still don't understand how Kangaskid isn't a thing yet. What the hell, Game Freak, but whatever. Anyway, Claydol dug a hole. How about I Protect, and then... I'm going to Water Pulse it when it comes out as well. I could probably Earthquake it now, but... Nah. Like, I think Levitate goes away when you're digging, but I'm not 100% sure about that, so... Let's just get Claydol off the field first before I start worrying about this, because I'm sure there will be another Shadow Pokemon after this, so... I probably could have Helping Handed as well, and that would have taken care of business. I probably would have survived a dig, but... Oh well, it's fine. We'll do this, and then I'm going to Yawn the Kangaskhan, and then I'll get Arbok in here next turn to Shadow Half, and it'll be asleep and at half HP, which should make it a little easier to catch, so... It's Battlefield's 1 to 48 normally. Okay, gotcha. Ooh, level 45, nice. We're getting closer to that level 50 target that I was talking about. Or 1 to 13, 14-1, 14-2, 15 to 23, 23.5, 24 to 48, and then 49 if you go for Ending C and you're playing on hard mode. If you want all the bonus maps anyways from the PSP and mobile version, oh my god. That's complicated looking anyway. It's probably not as complicated as it looks, but it still seems pretty complicated. Here's a Pokemon that's not very complicated. Shadow Bayonets. It's a physical attacker, and that's about it. Like, it has good physical attack. And, I mean, it's probably decent as a Ghost type, because Ghost is physical in this generation, so... if it had the other stats to back it up, that would be fantastic, but it doesn't, so... Yeah. But, I mean, if you need a Ghost type, I guess it's not bad. You could probably do better, like with Dusclops, but... Alright, Arbok, you're up. I'll have Quagsire Yawn the Bayonet as well. And then we'll Shadow Half next turn, and then I'll toss some balls. Arbok's actually almost done getting purified, but because it's still our Shadow Half user, I'm not going to want to purify it, even if it gets done while we're in the middle of the dungeon, because it's just such a good tank and a good Shadow Half user that I don't want to get rid of it just yet. We'll find another Pokemon that's a little higher level that can Shadow Half pretty soon, and then we'll find 2 more after that a little later in the dungeon, but yeah, I don't want to mess around just yet. 51 total maps, and holy fuck, it's hard. Almost glad they gave us difficulty selecting PSP version, because the GBA version is easily harder than PSP hard mode. Yeah, oh boy. Oh, Bayonet has Insomnia. Yeah, I forgot about that. Oh well. I guess I'll Shadow Half now, because I'm going to want to have Kangaskhan at a little bit lower HP. And then we'll, what else could I bring in to do something? I guess Aggron wouldn't be too bad, but I think Gardevoir might be the better option, so I can get Reflect up first, and then I can bring in Aggron after that, so... Mega Bayonet being insulted by only being used for its ability Prankster. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people use Mega Bayonet just for Prankster, which kind of feels like a bit of a waste, to be honest. It's got such high attack. Just stick Sucker Punch on that guy. I mean, it's not a Dark type. which I think is kind of a wasted opportunity, but still, I would use it for an attacker. You just got to make sure that it has the correct support to be an attacker, that's all. Alright, so we got a reverse mode. We're going to recharge next turn, but I can throw a ball with Gardevoir's turn. I could get a Reflect up too, but I think I'll throw a ball at Kangaskhan first before we worry about that. So let's just hope they keep feeding me Ultra Balls like this, because that'll definitely come in handy. Literally decided to nerf Yggdra Union in the PSP port and gave us a lot of quality of life to make the game less punishing for no damn reason. Oh boy. I guess if they want to make sure they appeal to a wider audience, but I don't know, it seems like a waste. A lot of companies do that though with ports, like they'll make it less difficult to kind of appeal to more people. Which, I mean, I guess is fine, but I don't know. Seems like a waste to me in some cases. Do I glare or do I shadow half? I think I glare, but I don't know if I have the best... I mean, it has 75% accuracy. Oh no, I don't glare because it's immune to that. I forgot about that, yeah. So we shadow half, actually. That's like 100% the correct move here. And we reflect, so Shadow Rush does a little less damage. Arbok's gonna faint anyway, but whatever. Okay. Example of a nerf. The main antagonist has a special ability that does extra damage if he beats you in a fight, plus 50% bonus damage, and it was lowered to 30%. Yeah, it seems a little strange. I mean, if he beats you in a fight, then I guess it's on you. You'd have to deal with a little bit more after that, but I don't know. Well, Arbok is definitely fainted after this turn, but I can probably maybe get lucky and toss this Ultra Ball and get away with it. Let's see what happens, shall we? Let's have a look. There we go. Most of the Pokemon in here have about the same catch rate. It's usually between 80 and 100 for the Pokemon in this area, and a few of them even have a 110 catch rate, so it's not too bad in terms of catching them. Like, their normal catch rates would make them a lot harder, but their adjusted catch rates are make it a little bit easier to grab them. So, makes it a little bit easier. Oh, you wanted me to throw a Pokeball? Yeah, I'm trying to save my Pokeballs, actually, for one particular Pokemon that we'll be fighting later on in the dungeon. So, I will be using Pokeballs to catch something, just not yet, that's all. I'm going to go all the way back to the healing point. We could use our resources at this point. Actually, it might not be a bad idea. How many people are fainted? Nobody. Yeah, I'm just going to use my resources. Arbok is going to have to deal with being in hyper mode, so I can't actually heal it just yet, but I'll just use my resources for the rest of you. I got all these items, I might as well. That's going to need a hyper potion, actually, I think. Because 100 points is not quite enough to top you off. So... And do I freshwater Flareon or Aggron? No, I think they're pretty good. Arbok could use some healing as well, but yeah, like I said, it's in hyper mode, or in reverse mode rather, so I can't really do much with that. So I'll just do this, stick it in the battle, call it, and then we'll go from there. Oh wait, actually, just do that. And that. Okay. And Flareon's already 45, so I'll want to switch it out as well, but we'll switch it out in a little bit once I take care of Arbok. 50% of a tactics card's power when the antagonist has a card that gets stronger throughout the game. At one point it has over 7,000 power, plus 50%. No offense, but your HP will never hit 9,999 in that game. Losing at that point is a guaranteed death, meaning a potential game over. The card starts at 1,700 and gets stronger as the game goes on. Okay, so I can kind of see why. But I mean, I guess you could just reset then, right? Like, you could just reset and, you know, if you lose to the guy, just reset and avoid the problem. Although if it's not like if it's on mobile, you probably can't reset. So how does it feel to have only 1 HP? Good, baby, living on the edge. Hi there. Oh, okay, sure, I'll let you do that, but first let me grab this treasure. 3 hyper potions. Must be a scientist around here. Well, anyway, that takes care of that. Let's head downstairs and probably find a healing point, or rather upstairs. Probably find a healing point directly here. Oh no, this is the block pushing puzzle room. Okay. Ooh, email. Danwa with Seifet from Egan, and there's nothing in the actual body of the email. Oh, another one. Must be Egan. Yep, down with Cypher. There you go. Dear Mikey, hello. This is my first email. That's not true, Egan. You've sent emails before. It's your first one to me. But you've sent other ones before. Stop that. I'm sorry that I sent an empty message by mistake. I also apologize for the misspellings. I'm embarrassed by these mistakes and W. The email text is cut off. Oh, Egan. He's supposed to be your little bit of comic relief here and there in this one. But yeah, if you push the blocks down here, for some reason, the lava immediately cools and allows you to walk on it. So that's cool, I guess. Quite literally. Well, anyway, it gets us some access to some treasure, so that's not too bad. A couple revives. I'll probably use one of those in a few minutes once I fight another trainer. Gotta get across here, but we don't know how to do that just yet, so let's explore the rest of the area first. And get another block to push into place. It's a good thing those blocks fall directly into these small little sections that they need to fall into rather than, like, dropping somewhere else. That'd be a travesty. Well, there's the next area over there, but we can't go there just yet. First, let's go here. That means resetting an entire map, usually. Oh, it's a turn-based strategy game. Okay, yeah, so you'd have to reset the entire map, a la Fire Emblem. So that's just great. Imagine this. The first map you fight the main antagonist in is Battlefield 17. During the third part of the map, if you reset, have fun doing the first two parts of the map again. Yeah, that could be a bit of a problem. Yeah. Because that's a lot of map to be recovering. Let's just have a look around while we're here. Not a whole lot going on in this room. They kind of let you do the puzzle in silence, which is, I don't know, kind of nice. Don't have to worry about, like, losing your train of thought or something. So... And if we slide this block down here, it'll actually cool the lava over by that chest as well. So before we go through the door, we might as well go grab that treasure. So we'll go do that. I think there's a healing point pretty close to here. I don't know if it's in the next room, but I think it's in the room after that. So if you can make it that far without going back to the healing point before Lavrina, that wouldn't be a bad idea. And I know where I'd like to get in the dungeon today, which will allow us to very easily finish this in 2 parts, but it might not happen. We'll have to see how long it takes us to get through these next parts, because there's quite a few rooms before we get to the main event here. We're looking for that big dome that was in the center of the volcano section of the island, but well, we're not quite there yet, so... There's a couple of white herbs in that chest. Those, if you have something like overheat, it'll actually allow you to put your stats back to normal after using it, which allows you to use it again. It's a one-time use item, though, so it's okay for competitive stuff, but I don't personally use it all that often. I guess they gave you 2, so that's not too bad if you really want to, you know, use it for something. Although I might have to put some of this stuff... Well, no, actually, because it's really just the white herbs, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I've got 12 items, so I've got, like, 7 more items before I have to worry about tossing stuff in my PC. So I guess we're okay for now. Oh, hello! Well, yeah, I mean, you're a big dude, you got all that armor on, and this room is hot as hell. Surprised you're able to hang up there for that long. Alright, Lifeblood, take it easy, go get some sleep. Have a good one. We'll see ya. A very justified nerf, yeah. Could definitely see it in that particular case, yeah. Well, I don't have to worry about getting blown up with fire, at least in Flarion's case, because I have flash fire, so that's good. Arbok, I definitely want to call you out of your current thing, although you're going to probably faint right away after that. So that's okay, though. We'll get Quagsire in here, we'll protect an Earthquake, and things will be golden. You're practically done with your bar now, though, so that's pretty good. It'll make you pretty easy to purify once we get a chance to. Nice crit. That's good. Could be bad, though, because I might not get to use Earthquake if he sends out a Shadow Pokemon. This is a required battle, so he's probably... Okay, it's a Vileplume. That's fine. So what can I send in instead of Quagsire to take out Houndoom? I guess Breloom, but it's probably slower than a Houndoom, so... Quagsire it is. We'll revive Arbok, though, in just a minute once I get into the rest of his Shadow Pokemon. So, alright, so let's do that. Their levels are a little all over the place here, aren't they? 37 and 34, that's a little interesting. I probably won't KO Vileplume if I don't use Flamethrower, huh? Like, if I try to use Earthquake, it probably won't quite one-hit KO, and then Quagsire will get knocked out, which would just be no good. Because I want to yawn. Not in real life, damn it, biology. I want to yawn next turn when a Shadow comes in. Because he has 5 Pokemon, and I'm pretty sure 2 of them are Shadow Pokemon, so... There's one of them, I think. Is Booby. I mean, Magmar. I'm pretty sure its Japanese name is Booby, which is kind of hilarious to me still. I never grew up past 12 years old, as it turns out. But it's not a bad fire type. There's been plenty of options for fire types at this point, but if you're still looking for one, that's not bad. I'd still use Houndoom or Arcanine over it, because it just comes in really late, and it's kind of hard to train at this point, but... Yeah, I mean, it's there, in case you want to use it, so... Alright, let's Shadow Ball the Houndoom and Yawn the Magmar. And then we'll switch in... Oh yeah, Arbok's not alive to Shadow Half, is it? Okay. Well, we'll have to figure that out next turn. Might have to Yawn again. Oh well. And there's a Pinsir, which, as it turns out, is also a Shadow Pokemon. I wouldn't use Pinsir because it doesn't really get any good same-type attack bonus moves. It's pretty much relegated to normal and fighting-type moves, and if you're going to use those moves, you should probably just use a Pokemon that gets same-type attack bonus out of it, because you'll get more bang for your buck. Just use Zangoose, really. If you want to use Pinsir, just use Zangoose. It doesn't have the ground-type resistance, Zangoose doesn't, but it's probably a little bit better off than using Pinsir, at least in my opinion. So... I only got a net ball for it, so I'll work on that in a minute. But first, let's revive Arbok so we can do some more Shadow Half shenanigans. And then, as for you... Yeah, I guess just Yawn Pinsir too, because none of them have, like, Insomnia or any of that stuff, so... Goodbye, Flareon, but we'll get Arbok in here, so that should be a tactical retreat. A little unfortunate for your friendship bar, because I'm pretty sure you were at 255 happiness, but oh well. What can you do, right? 2 Shadow Pokemon per team really be like that sometimes. Ow. I'm gonna have to heal with Quagsire's turn. It's okay, though. Guess you can tell me the main antagonist is a Scythe user, meaning that unless they use stabs, they have a weapon disadvantage against him, so you're gonna be doing damage slower than normal, and he's a large type unit, so he has double the HP a unit normally has, in exchange for only having half as many units fighting with him to compensate for the unit size differences, and that pièce de résistance, when he activates his card, he gets a damage spike based on how many of his own units he sacrifices. If he sacrifices even 2 of his units, that's the same as him sacrificing 4 small units, which means you shouldn't be able to win the fight at all at that point, meaning you're going to eat all of that bonus damage. Yeah, I could see that being a bit of a problem, yeah. So, alright, let's just give you a fresh water. You're going to waste half of this anyway in the next turn, so I might as well not heal you all the way. But with the sleep and with the Shadow Half, we should be able to catch Pinsir with the net ball. Magmar might be a little bit more troublesome, but Pinsir should be able to be caught. And I'm actually going to throw a ball at Magmar first, because sleep always lasts at least 1 turn, which means that Pinsir will fall asleep this turn and stay asleep next turn. So I'll still have a chance to net ball it, whether or not we catch Magmar on the first Ultra Ball. So. Yeah, Battlefield 17 is literally the first wall map in Yggdra Union. The main antagonist is no joke. Yeah, considering what you've just told me about him, I could see that, yeah. Oh boy. If I recall correctly, there's a total of 5 Pokemon on Cidark Isle that can be caught easier by net balls between the water types and the bug types that are here. So this is the second one. Still got 3 to go, and we won't be finishing that number out for a little while yet, but we'll get there. Okay, there's Magmar. That's good. We'll have to look for a PC to stick that in the thing, but we'll do that in a little bit. Pinsir will stay asleep. Arbok has to recharge. It's in reverse mode. Perfect. Now I can call it next turn to get it out of that, just in case it has any bar left. Probably doesn't, but you know. And then we can use Quagsire's turn to toss a net ball. Awesome. This one went pretty well, all things considered. I mean, if I have to throw another net ball, I've got 1 in excess at this point because I only threw 1 at Golduck, so it's probably alright. be honest, though, I didn't expect to have to throw another one because it's a pincer at half HP and a sleep. Sleep gives you a 2 times multiplier. The netball gives you 4 times. It's at half HP, so that's like 1.5 times. So, yeah, it's probably pretty good. And our box done. Good. Now, I think there's a healing point in the next room, but I don't think there's a PC, so I might actually go back at this point to all the way from before Lavrina. It's a little bit of a walk, but it'll let me put Magmar and Pinsir in the Purify Chamber, so we'll take the time. Once you clear Battlefield 17, grazie, you're about a third through the game. It's about to get harder. Yeah, oh boy. Man, I had a hard enough time with XCOM on normal mode. This is sounding less and less like a game that I'd be able to actually play, let alone beat. Oh boy. I guess it's not that far of a walk. It's only a couple of screens, but, you know. Thankfully, the Pokemon being in reverse mode doesn't prevent you from actually healing it with a Pokemon Center. That would be a little unfortunate, but we don't gotta worry about it, so. Alright, so let's heal up, revive whoever needs to be revived. Love Yggdra Union. Could link me a playthrough of Battlefield 17 you did for a friend a while back. I think you just kept it private. Yeah, you could do that if you want, just so I can see how absurd it is, just by how it sounds from what you've said. It sounds pretty absurd. Yeah, you could link it to me if you feel like it. Alright, let's see what we got here. Oh, yeah, we got a couple other ones, Kangaskhan, Banette, Magmar, and Pinsir, so I guess we'll stick these in there. Kangaskhan I might wait, though, because I want to stick that one in my normal set, and there's already a normal type in there, so excuse me, maybe we'll wait on that one. We can get a bonus from this. Ooh, a flow bonus, too. Nice. So let's stick Banette there. Take Magmar. And stick it in this next one. Can get a flow bonus from this maybe as well. No, unfortunately. That's okay, though. And then we'll take Pinsir. We'll stick it in here as well. And yeah, probably by the time we find the next PC... Ooh, there's a flow bonus. By the time we find the next PC after this one, we should be able to purify most of these Pokemon, so then we can stick a few more in there. Like, they should be done and ready to be purified, rather. We won't be purifying them remotely from here, because that would be... I think that'd be cool, but it's not something that the game actually has available, unfortunately. So... But, yeah, we should be able to have them ready to be purified when we get back to the mainland, so that's good. Alright, so we're all healed up. I did do that, right? Yes, I did. You're still in reverse mode, but I can fix that later. Let's get Quagsire and Aggron in here so they can get to 45. Yeah, I'm anticipating that our Pokemon will be like around level 48-ish by the time we get done with the area. That might be going a little high, though. We might only get to 47. And if that's the case, then I'll probably want to train them up to 50 before the last episode of the postgame, just so that way I have them at an appropriate level. But that's mainly for when Steve gets here, because he still wants to do that battle where he pits his Sapphire team against my Pokemon XD team. It's sort of like a callback to our old Pokemon Versus playthrough. So that's mainly for him, because that way we've got all of our Pokemon at the same levels rather than me being under-leveled, so... Alright, so now we're back here. We can actually go through the door pretty quickly, because all the blocks stay in place after you've done it, so... After you've done the puzzle, that is. So, yeah, I guess we're good. Let's just save it, just in case we run into anything nasty in the next room, and then we'll go from there. You miss healing your Pokemon by shoving them into a box. Yeah, that's still around in this one. I could use it that way, but we don't have to, because there's a healing machine most often. Wherever there's a box, there's our PC, there's also a healing machine. Case in point, I think there's one like right past this little lava waterfall. Yeah. Lava fall, rather. It's not a waterfall if it's made of lava. Pretty fancy, though, for 2005 graphics. So... Yeah, not in the first game. In the first game, they just give you a PC and they say, tough it out, Buster. That's all you get. It would be nice, though, if there was a PC right next to this one, because then I wouldn't have to track all the way back there to stick some Pokemon in the Purify Chamber, but... I don't think they expect you to have as many open slots in the chamber as I do at the moment, so that might be why they didn't have one here. As far as I know, there isn't a PC until we get to the main dome from here on out, actually. Oh no, there is one right there. Okay. Well, I must have just forgot about it then. Oh well. I think this lady has some shadow Pokemon though, so I'm going to save just in case. But yeah, there's a particular room that I would like to get to today, and I think we should be able to get there in the next 45 minutes. There's quite a few shadow Pokemon to catch on the way, but that's okay. Yeah, why are they a screen away? Why wouldn't they just be on the same screen? I don't know. It's a good question. Maybe the PC has problems with the lava. Maybe, like, there's some sort of, like, it's too hot for the PC. I don't know why it wouldn't be too hot for the healing machine then, but I don't know. Maybe it's too hot, or maybe there's electromagnetic interference. I got nothing. I'm just guessing. I'm spitballing at this point. So, ooh, double Intimidate on my 2 physical attackers. That's not good. It's a good thing both of you are pretty close to getting your levels there, because I'm definitely switching both of you out right now. So, there we go. Probably Gardevoir is not the best bet when I'm fighting a Mightyena, but we should be able to take it out next turn with Breloom. So, yeah, you can only headcanon that so much, otherwise, because then other questions start popping up, and suddenly it's like, okay, I can't go any further with this. It's not gonna work. So, double Intimidate and Sand Attack, lady. Do you just like annoying people? Because that's what it looks like. Oh boy. Well, I'm definitely going to call that so that it's not a big deal. But Breloom can Brick Break the Mightyena and take care of it. Although, should I do that? Or should I just Brick Break the Stantler so it can't Sand Attack again? Maybe I'll do that so it can't Sand Attack again. Although, I guess Mightyena could just as easily Sand Attack as well, but... Well, let's take care of the one that I know can Sand Attack. So... There we go. Does Stantler even learn Sand Attack by level up? I feel like that's an egg move for it or something ridiculous like that. But I don't know. Man, Breloom tears through your team. Holy crap. At the moment, anyway. So. You just got rid of Sand Attack on your Garchomp. You totally didn't forget that you had it. It's just sitting at the bottom of your move list, like, alone and forlorn. I will never be used in battle. But it's okay, because I'm not that good. I forget what it did as a Z move now that I think about it. It probably did something interesting other than like, well, it lowers accuracy by 2 stages because it's a Z move. It's like, no, I think it did something better than that, but... Yeah, I don't remember. I always thought that it was interesting trying to find what that was probably my favorite part about using Z moves, was figuring out what all of the non-attacking Z moves did and how to use them in battle so that way you had an advantage. But yeah, I don't know. Other than that, I wasn't really a big fan of Z moves altogether. So it's okay. You replaced it with Stone Edge and gave Chomp Ice type coverage. Yeah, that'll definitely help out. Yeah, that's for sure. This lady's blocking my path with no Shadow Pokemon. That's ill-advised, I guess. Was Z Substitute ever a thing people used? I probably considered using it at one point. What does Z Substitute do? So it gives you the substitute, but what else does it do? Because if it raises like one of your defenses or something, that would probably be something that I'd be like, yeah, that's pretty cool. I could use that on a... I've used a few tanks with substitute and healing moves, so it would probably be something I considered. Let me look it up. I legit have no idea. Yeah, me neither. Go look it up so we both can get some ideas of what it does. Well, does he have cameras in here? Because if he does, then he probably saw it. It's a little unfortunate for you. Okay, so, we didn't really get damaged all that much at all in that battle. I think I'll just heal off the power points and then we'll head up. So, you don't ever got to worry about backtracking in this area unless you're using that elevator, like, way back at the beginning of the area, because that acts as a shortcut, and I think when you use that you can run into a trainer. But if you have to backtrack to areas that you've already been while you're doing the long way around, it's not a big deal. You'll be able to get back, no problem. So. Let's see. So nobody's really at the point where I could consider taking them out for Kangaskhan just yet. So Z-Substitute is a normal type Z move that resets the user's lowered stats and creates a decoy to take attacks in exchange for some HP. That's okay. Yeah, I mean, that's alright. It's not great, but I guess it works okay. It acts like a haze, basically, so I guess that's alright. Or rather, it's more like, not like haze, because haze eliminates all stat changes, whereas... No, mist doesn't eliminate stat lowering, does it? It just prevents you from getting your stats lowered after that, so... I forget exactly. Ooh, another email. Probably Egan again. Yeah, to Mikey. Dear Mikey, I hope you are well. I wrote you a haiku poem. If Team Snag'em Goons cause trouble in the desert, go and sandbag 'em. Thanks, Egan. Really helpful. Haven't been in the desert with them since Cypher Key Lair, so that's fun. Alright, let's save again, because I don't think there's any Cypher Peons with Shadow Pokemon in this room specifically, but there are a lot of trainers in here, so it'll get us some decent experience. A few treasures in here, too. It's kind of like a spiral room with a whole bunch of treasure chests in it, so... The correct way is that way, if I recall correctly. But let's see if we can grab these treasures first before we do any of that. Hi there. Yes, I can see that. I am not blind. The lava has not blinded me yet. It is bright, but it hasn't blinded me yet. Yeah, but we aren't in the desert, Egan. Yeah, I don't think he knows where we are at this point. Egan's just being Egan, I guess. I should get Quagsire out of here because one or both of you can know a fire-type move, so... I should probably get them the hell out of here. Flareon, you can work pretty good against these. I'm gonna call Aggron, actually, because Rock Tomb will KO Beautifly, so... And then we'll let Flareon handle Dustox. And then we'll see what else we've got. Yeah, you probably won't be seeing too many water types in these caves, so Flareon's probably a pretty safe bet for now. There's a few more water types once we get back on the surface, but that's going to take a little bit, so... Yeah, Dustox and Beautifly, really. Yeah, these... I like to call this room the EXP battery room. I think there's one other room that's like this in a little while as well, where it's literally just there to feed you experience for a little bit. And I mean, the trainers in here have a lot of Pokemon, and they're all fully evolved, so they should give you decent experience. Mainly just to keep you over leveled. So, which I guess is fine. If I'm going to be taking a whole bunch of super effective attacks, I'm going to need the levels. So, all right, yeah, definitely not going to want to use Quagsire against that Sunflora. But Quagsire's 45 now, so that means I don't have to worry about using it for a little bit. Ooh, I got 4 special attack as well. Very nice. We're over 100 on our attack and defense, and we're over 80 on our special attack. Very good. There's an Illumise. That's another one that I could probably KO with Rock Tomb, so I guess we'll do that. Oh, excuse me. Hey, if Aggron ain't broke, don't fix it at the moment. And I'm not breaking nothing by keeping it in, so... I should probably get Arbok out of not hyper mode, reverse mode, though. Maybe I'll switch it in after this. 4 more defense, adding to our numbers. And a Volbeat. Okay, that's fine. Can definitely KO that in a minute. I was gonna say, I don't know who you're using that on, but it's probably not gonna help you all that much. I suppose it could do that, though. That would help you a little bit. Oh no, it's the Illumise from Coliseum in the Under that got 3 boosts from 3 Silver Winds. At least we'll get rid of its speed. Or we'll just one-shot it. At +1. Aggron, you strong. Never underestimate the Metal Kaiju. It will destroy your opponents. Arbok, you're not going to get out of reverse mode in this battle, are you? Oh well, I'll do it in a different battle. Let's keep Rock Tombing and Flamethrowing. Not that we'll really need Rock Tomb. Flamethrower will probably KO. Do I get a boost to my fire attacks because we're in a lava area and it's really hot in here to begin with? Or does that add tolerance? No, none of the above. It would be kind of cool if it did one of those 2 things, but it doesn't do either, so... Yeah, Omni Boost. And it didn't even help. I'm not angry that this is a dead end. I never stop going all out when it comes to battles. I know what you're doing at this dead end. You're an EXP battery. Should talk to the developers about that one. There's 2 hyper potions. That'll replace the one that I already used, so that's good. Alright, Breloom, Gardevoir, you're up. Get you to 45, and then maybe get Arbok to be unreversed in a minute. I would like to go this way, yeah. Oh, okay, I can do that. I think he was hoping for something else. Like I'd turn tail and run. Not happening, Hunter. Ibran? I don't really know how to pronounce his name. That's a Fortress, though, so I'm pretty sure Flareon can handle that. Look at Flareon to 46 before Breloom and Gardevoir even get to 45. It's okay, though. Alright, so let's do that. We'll Psychic the Wheezing, because that will definitely faint. And I'm pretty sure... What level does Coughing evolve? I thought it evolved at 38, but I could be wrong about that. I think that's actually Grimer to Muck. Coughing might evolve into Wheezing at 35, now that I think about it. Because I was going to say, that's illegal! But it might evolve into Wheezing at 35. I honestly couldn't tell you off the top of my head, so... Yeah, I was thinking 38 as well, but I'm not 100% sure about that now. So. Yeah, Sturdy, hell yeah, 2 generations early. Yep. Making good use of it, that's for sure. So. Well, Shadow Ball will probably be useful against the Wobbuffet, but let's get rid of Fortress first. And, well, I'm Shadow Tagged, so I guess I don't really know what else I could do other than Thunderbolt. I don't want to KO myself because of Mirror Code, but, you know. Or that could happen, that works too. I was going to Shadow Ball it next turn and get that result, but if it wants to do it this turn, that works too. And this will take care of Fortress. We're not Shadow Tagged anymore, so I could probably bring Breloom back in unless it's another Pokemon that Flareon can just blast, so we'll see. Oh, it's a Skarmory. Well, yeah, that's something that Flareon can blast, so I guess we'll have that happen. And, yeah, we'll just leave these 2 in. It's fine. I mean, Gardevoir can take care of Skarmory as well with Thunderbolt, but I can take care of both of them this turn if I do this, so it's fine. We'll get Flareon the experience while it works pretty well. Never know, there might be a bunch of other trainers with, like, different types of Pokemon later where Flareon won't be working as well. So I might as well get the experience now while I can. To be honest, it's super uniquely satisfying to block Fissure, Horn Drill, or Sheer Cold with Sturdy because it's so rare. Or Guillotine, yeah. I've never actually experienced that in the metagame. The only reason why I know that it does that is because of the fact that I played older generations where that was its only main use, was blocking one-hit KO moves. But, yeah, I've never seen it used in, like, the metagame or anything like that, so... Exactly, it's so unique, yeah. It's so unique that nobody uses it, which is a little unfortunate, but, you know. Alright, so now, we'll leave you 2 in because Breloom still needs to get to 45 and Gardevoir needs a bunch of experience to get there, so... I don't think either of those guys are, have any Shadow Pokemon, so... But yeah, if you took the path to the left, you could actually get to the elevator to get out of here, but you'd have to fight a group of big ol' Cypher Peons to get out of here, so... There's another power point up, and I'm actually going to use that. Ooh, and actually that elevator that's over there is important too. Remember that that's there for a little bit from now, because we're going to want to use it. But first let's use this power point up to get Giga Drain to 8 power points finally. So that's good. I think we get 1 more power point up, or maybe it's a power point max later on in the dungeon, but I'm not 100% sure about that. But yeah, remember that that's there, because we'll be coming back to that to get that chest in a little while. First though, let's go this way. And because this is a side path, it's highly unlikely that there will be any Shadow Pokemon here, but I'll save anyway, just for the hell of it. So. Alright, there's that. Well, I was kind of hoping you'd battle me. I mean, I would like to have the experience, so that way I'm in a good place when I need to fight the final boss. Yeah, if I remember right, there's one other room that's similar to this, where there's just like a big cluster of trainers that you can fight a little bit later in the dungeon, but I'm not 100% sure about that. Once you get to the light panel room, I don't know if that's one that'll actually make sense to anybody. But once you get to the quote-unquote light panel room, you're pretty much at the almost near the end of the dungeon. And after that, there's only like probably 7 or 8 trainers left in the whole dungeon, so yeah. A good chunk of the trainers are all clustered around this middle section here, so. You sent the Yggdra Union video? Okay, I'll check it out once this is all done. I'll see how crazy this game is, because it sounds pretty crazy from what I've heard, so. Get snacks, because you're going to need them. Video's long. Oh boy. Yeah, I'll make sure I pack a snack then. I don't even need to Giga Drain this thing, but do I have any? How's the power points on that? Oh, it's at 8 still. Okay, so we're fine. I was gonna say I might need to go heal those off, but I don't have to, so it's fine. To be fair, though, I don't really need to worry about healing off power points, because we have a whole bunch of ethers and elixirs from doing Battle Bingo stuff, so really, I could just use my healing items. We won't need them that badly to where I'll need to hoard, like, 24 fresh waters and Moo Milks and, you know, a bunch of ethers and all that stuff. I could just use them while we're down here, and then save, and we'll be okay. So. Okay, so Quillfish and Octillery. What's left out here. Breloom can Giga Drain the Octillery again. Probably not one-hit KO it, but that's okay. And then we'll just get rid of Quillfish. And actually, I could keep you two out for a little while, because if you get to 46, then we can put Quagsire and Aggron in here when there's a little bit more of an incentive to use them. AKA when there's not a whole ton of, like, water types trying to murder me. There's 4 more attack, and we've got nice special attack now. We could get Mind Reader because you get Dynamic Punch at a later level for Breloom, but I'm not really all that concerned about it. If we need more accuracy, I'll just call. So, hell, if you called twice, you wouldn't even have to have Mind Reader on a set with Dynamic Punch. You call 2 times, and that Dynamic Punch is 100% accurate, so you can just always confuse things. It would be pretty damn powerful, too. Coming from, like, base 130 attack. Machamp is still a bit of a better user for Dynamic Punch, though, specifically in a later generation, so I would use that instead if I was anybody. I'm just going to light screen, so that way I don't waste as many power points on my attacking moves, because I might need them. Might as well use Body Slam. I did teach it to Breloom, so give it a chance to use it up a little bit. Yeah, you can't really use Machamp with Dynamic Punch unless you have a no guard. So, honestly, if I ever did a playthrough of any of the Gen 4 games, Machamp would be a pretty high contender for me in terms of, like, using it, because it's a pretty good fighting type just in its own right, even without no guard. But then you add no guard to the mix, and it's like, oh, okay, this is giving me a little incentive to use it. I'm after that chest. Well, you're not going to let me pass until I've defeated you, so... Don't think you've ever used No Guard? That's right, because it has Guts as an ability too, doesn't it? It's got 2 pretty good abilities, all things considered. I've used No Guard personally, but mainly just to make sure I hit Dynamic Punches and Stone Edges. I think it can learn Stone Edge, if I remember correctly. Alright, we're going to need some high firepower for that Grumpig, so Aggron might not be a bad idea. I could probably Iron Tail it to death after 1 boost, so... Delibird I'm not really concerned about, though. Should be able to take care of it. Delibird reminds me again that I need to tell everyone their PSA about the Hustle ability. Remember, Hustle only affects physical moves, so with Delibird, it's really not that big of a deal, because... I mean, probably the flying type move that you're going to teach it anyway is Aerial Ace, so it just gets a 50% boost on that, and it doesn't even give a shit about the 20% drop. And if it's using Ice Beam, well, Hustle doesn't affect that in terms of power or in terms of accuracy, so... Despite the fact that Delibird is pretty shit, it at the very least has a halfway decent skill set in terms of its ability and what moves it uses, so... If it was a little bit better, it would probably maybe justify actually being used in Gen 3, but it's not, so, you know. Oh, Earthquake is so tempting right now, because this guy's got 6 Pokemon, but I think I'll just call and Psychic the Swalot. Because we can probably Iron Tail the Grumpig and knock it out. It's got defense a little bit and HP a lot, but it'll be okay. I've got a level advantage. Agron's strong. Maybe I'll rock to it first. I don't know. You didn't know what No Guard did until like Black and White 2. Oh man, yeah, that's a while to wait to know what it does. But yeah, No Guard is it's a pretty good ability, all things considered. So I'll just go for the Iron Tail, see if it works. Let's T-Bolt the Relicanth. Appropriate background sound effects from the upstairs television. Not that any of you can hear that all that much, I would assume. You probably can hear it a little bit. The foam only goes so far, you know. So. Alright, so how much will this Iron Tail do, that Grumpig? A big all of it. Good. Fantastic. Oh, you'd never seen it before Black and White 2? Really? I'm trying to think if I had seen it before I did any metagame stuff. That would probably be why I saw it before Black and White 2, is because I did some metagame stuff. So that might explain why I had seen it. I did metagame stuff in Gen 4, so probably would explain why I had seen it before that. Alright, let's see if Thunderbolt will be enough to get rid of this Golduck. Swap Agron right back out for Breloom. Can take care of the Quagsire next turn and we'll be good. Oh, there we go. Oh no, Quagsire predicted what I would do biologically and said, yep, do the same thing. Stop it, Quagsire. I'm trying not to yawn. Well, if Giga Drain wasn't going to KO before, which I think it still would have, we got a 10 level advantage, I guess Psychic is going to just take care of that for me. Thanks, Psychic. That's fine. Oh, you did competitive on cartridge? Okay, gotcha. Where your Freedom Eagle was banned for knowing Skydrop. Damn it, Game Freak, why make that a move if you're going to ban it online? I don't think they thought about how busted Skydrop was until they actually made it. Or maybe they just didn't beta test it enough, because it seems like a silly move to just leave into the game when it's as broken as it is, so I don't know. Well, there's another elixir in case we need more PowerPoint restoratives, so that's not bad. But yeah, I did competitive in Gen 4, and it was on Battle Revolution. So obviously, a lot of people, when they weren't running Choice Scarfed Kyogre and Choice Scarfed Darkrai, they were running like Machamps with no guard that they hacked Sheer Cold onto or some shit like that. So, you know. Bro, outspeed your opponent, kill them. Bam, you've beaten Skydrop. Yeah, I know. Oh boy. This person might have some Shadow Pokemon, so we'll have to see how this all works. I'll have to walk on eggshells a little bit if they do. Because I still have Arbok in reverse mode over there. We'll figure it out, it's fine. Alright, so I see a Camerupt, and I don't want Breloom in to be any part of that, but the Weezing I can handle. And I got Magma Armor. I guess that's okay. And then let's get Quagsire in here, because it can handle the Camerupt a little better. We'll get rid of the Weezing. And we'll see what Cypher Peon Coalesced has for me. Again, probably has some Shadow Pokemon, but because this is the path forward. But we should be okay. I should be able to handle it. Probably what we'll do then is, once we get past the 2 trainers at the elevator and we get up the elevator, I should be able to call it there and be okay, because if it gets me to where I think it gets me, I shouldn't be too far off from the next area that I want to go to. So. Oh, that's a Muck. Quagsire, let's do some Earthquakes. Gardevoir's going to take a big hit, but I can probably reflect before that and get some good stuff off from that. They really banned Coffagrigus? Why'd they ban Coffagrigus? That was weird. Skydrop was banned. You hated Gen 5 competitive. Those hidden abilities weren't enough to overcome it, huh? Because of the name? Really? Wow, that's a strange reason to ban it. Why give it the name if you're going to ban it because of the name? Like, what? That's confusing as all get out. Oh, yeah, because that word's in there. Yeah, I kind of... See, I don't pronounce it that way. I always pronounced it Cophagrigus, but I suppose you could pronounce it that way. I guess. But yeah, I never really pronounced it that way. But yeah, it just seems weird because it's like, why name it that if you're going to have to ban it because of that word being in there, you know? That's how you pronounce it, so you were Confused AF. Yeah, I would be too. Speaking of Confused AF, here's two Confused AF Shadow Pokemon, Magcargo and Rapidash. Rapidash is level 40, so it's actually getting a little closer to being the appropriate level, so... but, I mean, okay, let me start with Rapidash, since I just almost said both of them. Rapidash is probably, again, it's another solid fire type. It just comes in a little bit late, so I don't know if I'd use it because it's so late in the game. Magcargo is pretty well useless, though. I wouldn't use it. It's got a really solid moveset, excuse me. It can gain Flamethrower and Rock Slide. I don't think it gets Rock Slide back by Purifying, but you can get it back from the move reminder. And it gains access to Earthquake as well. So it has Fire, Ground, and Rock coverage, which lets it hit literally everything in the game neutrally, which is fantastic. But if you wanted that, you could have caught Numel and then evolved it into Camerupt at this point and gotten a better Pokemon out of it. So, yeah, unfortunately, I'm not a big fan. So, I gotta take care of reverse mode. Alright, so let's see on the Magcargo now that we on to the other one. I'll Shadow Half first, and then I'll take care of reverse mode after I recharge. Oh, Rapidash is the Pokemon you were talking about last time? Because this one has Baton Pass, which is unique. Yeah, that's actually a pretty solid move for Rapidash. It can pass, like, Agility. I don't know what else, but I know it can definitely pass Agility and stuff, which isn't too bad. Gotta love Shadow Half. Makes things so much easier. Okay, so that'll get rid of my Reflect. There's another Shadow Shed for you. I guess that makes sense. Magcargo's like a flame snail, so... Oh, it's that rare? This is the only one that can legally have Baton Pass? Wow, yeah, that is pretty rare then. Holy crap. Alright, so Quagsire, let's use your turn to try to catch Rapidash. And then we will let Arbok recharge, I'll call it, and then we'll try to catch Magcargo. Or Rapidash again if this doesn't work. You never know. I think it has around the same catch rate, though, as a lot of the Pokemon in here. Like I said, a lot of them are like 80 to 100, so they're not terribly bad to catch. They're just a little bit... They'll occasionally break out of an Ultra Ball, and that's about it, so... Thank you, Quagsire. You've done your job. You're a gentleman and a scholar, and I will revive you momentarily. Arbok, I'll fix you in a little bit, too. I guess it doesn't matter who I send out. Let's just send Agron out so I can get some extra money from this fight. Still got to think about buying vitamins. That's still in the back of my head, so... We'll get there. To be honest, Rapidash has speed and not much else, so Baton Passing Agility would be nice. Yeah, because, I mean, it would be able to pass pretty quickly then, you know? Like, it uses Agility, it takes maybe one hit, and then it's able to pass it, which isn't... It's not too bad. The one in this game, I don't know if I'd use it for Agility specifically to pass. I mean, I guess you could use it for Agility if you have, like, a Pokemon that's really, like, slow. That's, like, a different type that you'd want to pass it to. Like, maybe, say, Quagsire, because that probably synergizes pretty well with Rapidash's weaknesses. So, I'm never going to get Arbok out of reverse mode, am I? Oh, that's funny. Alright, well anyway, we beat Coalesced, so we got our Pokemon. Understandable, you're wearing all that armor, so it would be kind of hard to battle in this heat. Alright, but before I go on, I definitely want to make sure everybody's healed, and Arbok won't get healed unless I go back to a Pokemon Center, so, or a healing machine, so let's go back. Because it's right down here, so it's really not that long of a walk. But there's 2 battles in a row, each with Shadow Pokemon in the next area after we get that little chest, so... How have I failed to call it this many battles later? I always try to call it when I'm catching stuff, and apparently my catching is pretty good because I keep catching everything in the first ball I throw. I mean, granted, I'm bringing them to half HP, and I'm putting them to sleep most of the time, so that kind of helps, but still, you know. How are we doing on shadow monitoring, anyway? Anybody pretty close? You can press the R button, by the way, to sort the shadow Pokemon to the top of the list here. That's what I keep doing there, so in case anybody's wondering how I keep doing that, that's how. So, yeah, nobody's... I mean, they're not that close yet, but they're getting there. You call your snake! Show her you care. We will. We will soon. Alright, let's get out of here. We'll save when we go up there before I go collect the chest, because knowing my luck, there will be another Cypher Peon on the road to this elevator that I'm trying to get to. And then once you ride the elevator up... Actually, I think there's like a minor puzzle, like right after the elevator, if I remember right, and then the room that I want to get to is there, so we'll see. Maybe I'll get there. Depends on how long it takes me to get these other couple of shadow Pokemon that are directly ahead of me. But I know there's a particular room that I want to get to, because it'll put us pretty much about halfway through the dungeon, so... Oh, there is another person, just like I said. It's a good thing I saved. So it was Coalesced and Colin. Next we'll have Colette. Oh boy. Yeah, I do. I have 14 unpurified shadow Pokemon now. Although two of them actually, are ready to be purified, so technically we have 12, but... Yeah, we have quite a few, so... Ooh, I got Flash Fire. Perfect. Keep that on the field, then, because that will work pretty well. Although, probably, Breloom is going to be the one that's going to get the Fire-type move blasted at it, if anybody's gonna, so I guess I gotta take it out. Try to take it out, anyway. Get close. No cigar. It's okay. Take care of Cacturn. Breloom will get some experience, and then we'll get Quagsire in here, and we'll be good. Yeah, no Tower of Salvation. We did that. Not on this channel yet. I've definitely played Symphonia, but I don't think No, I haven't played it for the channel yet, so... I don't know. I might do it one day, but... I wasn't a big fan of the PS3 port, to be honest. There were a few problems that it had that I wasn't really enthusiastic about. So... It was mostly just like minor glitches and stuff, but they added up over my little... I didn't play through the whole game when I played it on that, but they were little minor things that sort of started to add up after a while. I don't know if Agron's a good idea to bring in here. No, actually it is, because I can protect an Earthquake next turn to take care of both of these guys, so let's just get everybody out of here. Everyone is out! So... Hey, Ventus, welcome back. How you doing? I was thinking how OP Garchomp would be in this game. Ooh, Garchomp would be great in this game. Flygon is already really solid because of its typing. I mean, Levitate helps it too, but... Yeah, Flygon's already really solid, so Garchomp would be even better. It has those better stats in most cases than Flygon. So... If it was banned in its own generation, it would erase Gen 3. I mean, that is true, yeah. All the more reason to use it, am I right? Alright, let's get rid of both of these guys to get their shadow Pokemon on the field. I would have to agree there, Ventus. I would love to revisit the Ore region one day. I mean, Game Freak would probably have to hand it over to Genius Sonority to make the game, but I'd love to revisit the Ore region several years down the line as like a sort of soft sequel to this game in a later generation. I think it'd be a fun time. Will they do it? I don't know. If Game Freak decides to try to do it in-house, probably not, but you never know. Stranger things have happened, especially in the past few years, so... Okay, that's not a Shadow Pokemon, because that was a Shadow Pokemon in the last game. Same thing with that, so I guess Colin doesn't have, or Colin, doesn't have any Shadow Pokemon on her team. I'm gonna be balls to the wall and try to stay in on these two Pokemon that can probably KO Quagsire. And just try to Ice Beam the Tropius. I probably won't even KO it, but I'm still going to do it. So. Be honest, one last thing about Symphonia. The lore from pre-Symphonia is nuts. Like, the stuff that happens before the plot is wild. That reminds me, actually, that's another reason why I'm not sure if I want to play Symphonia. Because then it would kind of create the implication that I would play Dawn of the New World. And I hated Dawn of the New World. It was so bad from what little of it I've played. Maybe I'm just maybe that's just me, but I was not a big fan of Dawn of the New World, and I don't want to set the implication that I would play it, because I definitely would not play it for the stream. So, which one, regular Symphonia or Dawn of the New World was your first Tales game? You enjoyed it? Well, I'm glad that you enjoyed it at the very least, but yeah, I did not like what little of it I played, so. Dawn of the New World was, okay, gotcha. I was spoiled because I played Symphonia as my first Tales game, so. I got spoiled by one of the ones that everybody enjoys quite a bit, so. Yeah, and then after that, what was the next Tales game I played? I didn't get Tales of the Abyss, because that was, I didn't even know that existed until, like, way after it came out. The next one that I wanted to get was Vesperia, but it was an Xbox exclusive, so I couldn't get that one. And then Xillia came out, and that one plus Xillia 2 were also both considered very good. So, yeah, that was where most of my experience lies, is just with Symphonia, Xillia 1, and Xillia 2. And those are probably the three that I would play for the stream, to be honest, out of all the Tales games. I'm still not even sure about Symphonia, though, because Xillia 1 and 2, in my opinion, are so good that they kind of overtake most other Tales games in my eyes, but, I mean, that's just me. It's easily the worst Tales game, so you had nowhere to go but up. I mean, yeah, that's a good way of looking at it, actually, now that I think about it. So. Alright, here we go. So these two are going to fight us back-to-back. I think I just saved, but I'm going to save again. Yeah, I did just save. Because it's back-to-back Shadow Pokemon that we got to fight and catch here. Hopefully I'll have an opportunity to actually call Arbok out of reverse mode in one of these battles. If not, then, well, we'll figure it out later. Oh good, Carbon and Petro in a place with a bunch of different alternative energy sources. Alright then. Why don't you give it a shot? Let's see what you two have. Dawn of the New World is so bad, especially looking back. You never finished the post-game extra dungeon. I never finished the Try again. Necronomicon quest in Symphonia 1, now that I think about it. So I never got to fight Abyssion. Well, I got pure power. Not that that's going to help me at all, but I got pure power. So. Yeah, I never fought Abyssion. Maybe one of these days I'll go back and do it. Probably not for the stream, though, because I think that, if I remember right, that's like a long and tedious side quest, but I don't know. Devil Arms have never really been something that I've really used in Tales games. They kind of just sit in my inventory, to be honest. Maybe I'm playing the game wrong. I don't know. It was a randomly generated maze. Oh, I hate when they do that with post-game dungeons. That sucks. Like, come on. Like, do something that actually requires more effort than just stick it in a procedural generator and go from there. Come on now. That's ridiculous. Okay, so here's the first shadow of the two trainers. This one has a Hitmonchan. You can probably guess what the second one's going to be, but we'll get there in a minute. Will Body Slam KO? No, I really shouldn't risk it, actually, now that I think about it. I don't want to accidentally crit and KO it and be really sad because I'd have to reset. So I'll just do this instead. Yep, Ganunga Gap. The floors are all randomized. Have fun. Wait, Glad Time? Oh, is that what it's called? Glad Time? I mean, I could have... It could have been either one. I wouldn't have known. I wouldn't have known any better. Ganunga was the final dungeon? Oh, okay. I feel like I've heard the word Ganunga Gap from somewhere before, but I don't remember where. Probably in some random RPG that I've played, but I don't know. Alright, since there's only one Shadow Pokemon, I can kind of hang around a little bit. So we'll call Arbok so we can glare. And call it to get it out of reverse mode. That works too. I'm gonna reflect up for Shadow Rushes. Yeah, Mythology! Woo! I don't even remember what mythology it's from. Shadow Down's pretty good for a Shadow Hitmonchan. It's got good attack, and that reduces defense by 2 stages, so that's actually pretty solid. Kind of makes my Reflect a little bit of a moot point, huh? Okay, so we'll call you again, this time to increase your accuracy so Glare will actually hit. This thing doesn't have Limber, does it? I think that's Hitmonlee, actually, now that I think about it. So let's get Aggron in here to get a little extra money. And then we'll use Glare. And then we'll use Shadow Half, and then I guess we'll use Bite if I need to use something else after that. I don't think I will, but just in case, you never know. Oh no, he's reducing my defense on the 1/4 damage I'm going to take from this. And now my Pokemon with almost 200 defense. What am I going to do? Okay, so Glare, the Hitmonchan, see if it has Limber. I don't think it does, but I'll be proven wrong if it does. Whatever. Arbok's at -6, which is a little sketchy, but I mean, I have a Reflect up too, so that should help a little bit. You never cleared Gladsheim? You were so tired of the randomly generated floors, you cheesed the fights that you did do. Instacast Marta OP, blah blah blah, Divine Saber. Oh boy. I'll tell you what was kind of a busted combo in Symphonia 1. You must have a really highly reverse mode nature, Arbok, because it keeps happening to you. Oh, whatever, just Shadow Half, it's fine. And then Protect, so I don't get halved before the next battle. Was pretty busted in Symphonia 1 was so usually my team consisted of one melee unit and then Genis, Colette, and Rain. And in the late game, that combo was really nice because Genis would get some interrupt moves like Absolute, and Colette would get some interrupt moves like Grand Cross. Now this is in the PS3 version specifically, by the way, so this is like when you get to Teteala. This is when this combo really started to come into play. Is you could use Absolute to interrupt enemies. Like, it would interrupt anything they were doing, and it would stop them so you could keep attacking with the melee attacker, and then you could Grand Cross, and it would interrupt them again, and then you could Photon, and it could interrupt them again. So, yeah, usually one melee, 3 casters ended up being the combo when I was playing Tails on the PS3. It made it so that, if I remember correctly, your reserve party members didn't get experience, so it made it a little hard to keep everybody leveled up appropriately, but I don't know. Genis, Colette, and Rain were ready for the end game, so. This Carbon guy has no idea what I'm talking about. He's like, what the hell, Teteala? What is that? Alright, come on, Petro. Let's see what you've got. You do all the Cats quests every chapter of the story. You can break Emil and Marta. Marta can instacast spells, and Emil can chain arts with no real downtime. Oh my god, yeah, that's incredible. But if you miss any of the Cats quests, you can't do the last one to get the dungeon that has their ultimate weapons. Oh, okay, yeah, I could see that being a bit of a problem then. I got own tempo. That's not bad. I wonder if the Shadow Pokemon in this battle has Shadow Panic, because that would be pretty good for it. I could just Body Slam the Grumpig, but I feel like if Breloom faints, I'm not going to get any experience for it, and I mean, it could potentially very easily faint in this battle, so let's just play it safe. Especially with a Flying type and a Psychic type on the field, like, no, that's not working for Breloom. So, those weapons are almost necessary. Emil can get Accelerate on another weapon that you can make, and I'm assuming Accelerate is the thing that gives him no downtime on his arts. I don't know that for sure, but that would be my guess. But Marta can't sub out her ultimate weapon. Oh, because of the Instacast ability on it? Yeah. Oh boy. Nothing like ultimate weapons that are necessary. They're just so OP that you can't even compare with other stuff. Why did I switch in Flareon? I guess to use Shadow Ball, but I guess it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for Grumpig specifically. I'll use Flamethrower on Metang, and then I'll just soften up Grumpig for next turn. There we go. Nice and easy. Softened up for the next turn. This guy's got 5 Pokemon, so you gotta be a little careful in terms of, because you haven't gotten to heal in a little bit, so he's, it can be a little tricky. Oh, it's more than cast time reduction. Both their weapons reduce their TP costs to 1. Oh my god, yeah, those are OP. Holy shit. That don't mess around. So. It's too bad he confused raid Flareon, because otherwise that would have been very, very nice, because I've got own tempo. So, oh well. What can you do? Alright, so now we want a Yellow Flute for Flareon. We actually won't potentially need Arbok for this battle. You'll see why in just a minute when the Shadow Pokemon comes out, but we may not actually need it for the purpose of weakening the Shadow Pokemon that's going to come out once we actually manage to see it, after I stop getting fake-outed. Is this on Flareon again? Are you pulling some Coliseum bullshit, where you knew that I healed the confusion, so you just confused me again? I'm going to keep yellow fluting. I don't give a fuck, Grumpig. You can just bite my entire asshole. Oh boy. Meanwhile, Grumpig, the savage fucking swine that he is, don't threaten me with a good time. Just murder it, please. Okay, so yeah, the other guy had Hitmonchan, so Petro would have a Hitmonlee. And here you go, it's a Shadow Hitmonlee. It has a trick up its sleeve, though, as you'll see in a moment. Okay, well, he's not Confused Raying again, so that's good. He's Psychicking the Psychic type. That's fun. Yeah, meaning you never have to use gels again. Yeah, so that's really busted OP. Definitely. Alright, I'm going to Reflect up. Not that that'll help against what Hitmonlee is probably going to do to me anyway, but, you know, it's there. Imagine if you didn't have that flute. Oh my god, it would be not good at all. But yeah, so Hitmonlee is your second Shadow Half user, so if you want to put Arbok away and purify it, you actually can now, because you have another Pokemon that can use Shadow Half. And I might actually sub Hitmonlee in. Not 100% sure just yet. We'll see. It would give me something to do, I guess, while I'm, you know, getting all the other Pokemon all set to go. So. Yeah, so that's why you don't want to have Arbok come out and use Shadow Half, because Hitmonlee will Shadow Half itself, because it's the move that it's the most effective move for it to use, because it deals the most damage overall, and usually the AI will pick the move that does the most damage overall, so, yeah. Let's get Arbok in here so I can call it out. I almost said Hyper Mode again, Reverse Mode. And I'll probably Protect on the next turn with Flareon. I'm just wasting a turn for its recharge cycle to see if it Shadow Halves itself again. And then we'll try to catch it next turn. So. Just halved its own HP, so it should be a pushover to catch, right? Yeah, that's the idea. Hopefully it works out that way. Arbok, snap out of that Reverse Mode, please. Thank you. The other nice thing about Hitmonlee is that it's a little bit higher level than Arbok, and it has about the same amount of defense, so it's not too bad in terms of being able to protect itself. The only problem is that Hitmonlee is missing out on a status move like Glare that Arbok has, so that's a little bit unfortunate. It makes it a little harder to actually use it, so yeah, we'll see. Now, don't worry too much about if you use Shadow Half and, like, it uses Shadow Half itself. That's not a huge loss. I think it has Limber, though, so I don't think Glare's going to work. But yeah, if you use Shadow Half and it uses Shadow Half, it's fine. It'll just set it to... Basically, it'll set it to like a quarter of its HP now, and then if it Shadow Halves itself as well, it'll set it to 1/8, and then you'll get an entire turn that's as a breather, so you can heal, or you can try to catch it again, or whatever. But, well, we caught it, so I don't have to care about any of that. We could just go from there. So... Yeah, come on, Cypher. I thought you were terrorists. Hyper Mode was OP, that's true. It definitely got used to good effect because of how powerful Shadow Rush became when you were under it, but... I guess they wanted to give you less of an incentive to just leave things in Hyper Mode, you know? And that's why they fixed it for Reverse Mode, so... after all of that, I think I'm gonna go back to the healing point. Arbok's finally out of Reverse Mode, though, so that actually helps a little bit. I think I might keep it around for a little longer, though, because passing up Shadow Half and Glare on the same Pokemon is just too good to pass up. It's even good in the final battle. That's how good Arbok is, because of the fact that it has that combination of moves. You don't get anything else that's a Shadow Tank in these later dungeons that also has a status move, unfortunately. So, yeah, it's really hard to pass up Arbok. It's just a great Pokemon in terms of its ability as a Shadow Pokemon for catching other Shadow Pokemon, so... If you got the recoil from Reverse Mode, Hyper Mode would be a trade-off. Yeah, because you hit yourself in recoil from Shadow Rush anyway, and then you also hit yourself in recoil from Reverse Mode, so... Yeah, exactly. So it would have had that trade-off to it, so it would have made things a little more interesting, I think, but, you know. Okay, so it looks like a few of the Pokemon in here are practically ready to be purified, and probably when I walk about 2 steps, they'll be done, so... I guess we'll do that right now, and then we'll see what what's waiting for us above the elevator that Carbon and Petra were blocking. So just wander around for a quick second until they purify. It's usually after a certain number of steps they will, and then we'll go. If we go for a little bit of length on today's episode, that's okay. Okay, there's one, Golduck. But yeah, if we go for a little length on today's episode, that's okay. I just want to make sure that I can do the entire final dungeon in 2 sittings. And well, the final battle takes a little while. Probably between the cutscenes and the battle itself, it's going to take probably about 45 minutes. So we got to be a little, got to make sure we have enough time for that. So it's kind of like how the final battles of Colosseum, even though there's only like 6 of them, and with the cutscenes and everything, it ended up taking me like almost 3 hours to do the whole thing with the credits and all that. So Sableye and Farfetch'd I don't think will be ready early enough, so let's take the couple that are done. Golduck and Raticate are done, so let's take them out of there and put a couple new ones in. Kid, you never got the jokes with all these names. That's okay. It's just something that you see it as an adult, and then it makes a little more sense, so. Alright, so Raticate, let's take a look at what we've got here. We'll stick you right over here, because Kangaskhan can definitely make the most use out of the normal set there. And Golduck, let's get you out of here. One of those guys is just about ready to be purified as well over there on set 6. That's Sableye, but I think it might take a little bit for it to get there, so. We'll leave it, it's fine. We'll find another PC and we'll take care of it in a little bit. Or I'll just come back to this one, you never know. So. But yeah, so those guys are ready, so we'll just switch them out. Now let's go to the elevator, and we'll see what's waiting for us past that. And like I said, if we get to the... Basically, I want to make sure that I get to the room that I want to get to, because once I get there, it's like... I think there's only like 10 trainers or something left in the whole dungeon after that, including the final boss. Now, it'll take a while to get there, because there's still a big chunk of Shadow Pokemon to catch, but we've caught quite a few at the moment. I mean, where are we in terms of numbers right now? We're at 60. So there's still, let's see, let's take away the 11 from the final 2 battles. So that would put us at 71. So there's still 11 Shadow Pokemon to catch outside of the final battles, but, I mean, still, we should be able to handle that. Or wait, yeah, 11, because 4, 6, 1, yeah. Had to do a little mental math there. So there's still 11 to catch, but we'll be able to catch those, it's fine. It just might take a little bit, that's all. This place does have so many Shadow Pokemon. It's pretty ridiculous, the numbers that they've got here. Alright, so here's those elevators that I was talking about before. I think, actually, we want to take the other one first, if I recall correctly. I think we want to go this way first and go down, because I think that takes us down and around somewhere. I'm just going to see where it takes us first before we go anywhere else. Yeah, this takes us down here. Okay. And, okay, yeah, actually, now that I think about it, down here there's probably... I think there's a bunch of trainers in this area, too. So, I guess we'll see how long it takes us to get through this little section, but I think there's a bunch of trainers down here that are required that have Shadow Pokemon, so... We might not get to the room that I want to get to today, but we'll be pretty close, anyway. And the more Shadow Pokemon we catch today, the less we'll have to worry about catching on Friday's stream, so... I mean, worst comes to worst, it's fine, because I'll just do like a short stream on Saturday to finish the game if we, for some reason, can't make it to the final battle in the 3 hours that we have on Friday. I'll just do a short stream on Saturday to finish it up, but I would prefer not to do that. It's not something that I'm opposed to doing, I just would prefer not to, so we'll see. Let's do that, there we go. You'd think that they'd have made them faster instead of hoarding them all for the final dungeon. They had a production line. Yeah, and see, here's the thing, too, is that if they spread out the Shadow Pokemon in this dungeon to, like, maybe 1 per trainer or something like that, you'd only have to catch 1 per trainer, and there'd still be pretty much enough for the final boss to have, like, a bunch of them. But, like, he wouldn't have 6 like he does, or 7, as it turns out, like he does now, but he'd have a pretty solid amount of them. And you'd still be fine in terms of how many. So... But you'd only have to catch 1 per battle, which would make it a lot more manageable. But it's not. That's not how it works, unfortunately. So, excuse me. I could T-Bolt this Yanma, but I think I'm just going to Rock Tomb it, and that should work okay. And I think this lady has some Shadow Pokemon. If she does, we should be seeing them in a moment, so... Gardevoir is almost 47. I'm going to have to switch switch her out pretty soon, because she's doing pretty good, as it turns out. Oh, it's got substitute. Well, I guess that works in conjunction with reversal. Alright, well, anyway. Incidentally, though, if she has one Shadow Pokemon on this team, which she might, there's a possibility. Some trainers just have the one, but she doesn't have any, so that's fine. But if they had the one, that would put us at, let's see, so that'd put us at 10 left between here and the end of the final couple of fights. So, but we're still at 11, which is fine. I'm gonna have to knock this Yanma out with Thunderbolt, though, because Aggron's not fast enough, so it'll just keep putting up substitutes if I don't do that, so. It's fine, though. I have a target for Rock Tomb and Altaria, so it's okay. Probably switch in Flareon after this so it can get some appropriate levels as well. Or maybe I'll switch in Quagsire, actually. Because Quagsire and Aggron need to get to about the same amount. Breloom is still kicking around at 45, so... Gardevoir is just too good for the final dungeon, what can I say? Pure Psychic type just runs a train through most of these things, especially if they can get electric coverage. Alright, so let's take care of this lady. We'll see what else is in this room, and then we'll go from there. Like I said, I'd like to get to a specific room, but I don't know if it's going to be feasible tonight without going for 3.5 hours. It kind of just depends on which trainers we run into between here and there and what Shadow Pokemon they have, so... Breloom, I would like to get you to 46, but putting you in on a Pokemon that has Aerial Ace is not a good idea. Quagsire it is. He's got to get to 46 anyway, to be fair, so... he'll get there. I guess with the Rock Tomb, though, Altaria would have been slower than Aggron, so I could have gotten away with it, but, you know... Yeah, probably a good idea to beat a retreat at this point, because I kind of royally kicked your ass, so... Okay, so let's get the two Pokemon that need to be at 46 in here, and then we'll get Flareon in here to get it to 47, to get him to 47, and we'll go from there. I'm going to save again because I'm a hypochondriac about these things. So... It's going to be funny, though, because I actually... Oh, there's Sableye. Okay, Farfetch'd shouldn't be too far behind. Actually, I already know what I'm going to name this episode. There's Farfetch'd. And the last time that I named an episode the same thing that I'm going to name this one, it was also like 3 hours and 25 minutes long. It's been that long since I've named it that, so... Oh, hello. I'm surprised that that was a load-bearing treasure chest, but I guess I shouldn't be. His name is Gromlet. I don't know why I find that so funny, but I do. I guess he is going to spook me because he's got a whole bunch of ghost types. Breloom can't do a whole lot against any of those things, but it's fine. I can switch Breloom out. It'll get to 46 anyway, so... Now, what the fuck is a Gromlet? That's a good question. I can tell you one thing, though. He probably forgot the crackers! Sorry, that's a terrible English accent, but, you know. Yeah, I know of a Grommet as well. He's a dog. Very smart dog, as it turns out, but... Yeah, not the Grommet I know. Okay, well that's on Flareon, because otherwise it wouldn't work, so... That's fine. I think I'll just Protect and Earthquake next turn. Because neither of these guys has Levitate, so... It probably won't one-hit KO Sableye, but it'll definitely KO Banette, so... That's fine. That might do a little bit. I mean, I guess that's a little bit. I thought it was going to do a little more, actually, to be honest, but, you know. You love how slow the animations for the KOs are in this game? Like, where they desperately try to cling on to their life, and then all of a sudden it's just like, oh, okay. And then the life fades from their eyes and they die. Yeah. Unlike Gen 6, where they were reused, it conveys a certain feeling. Yeah, like I said, like they're desperately clinging to their life force, and then they just slide off this mortal coil. Although they don't die, they faint, but, you know, same idea. Like, look at the pain in Sableye's eyes and head just there. That gives you that feeling, you know what I mean? So, like, that this Pokemon is genuinely in pain. It makes you feel bad when they faint, you know what I mean? So, yeah, look at Jolteon, where it just, like, it tries so hard to stay standing up, and it's like it puts its one hand up, like it's raising a hand to God, like, why would you do this to me? And then it falls over. Yeah, so... Like I said, a lot of the animations in these games, I mean, a lot of it, that's a level 44 Crobat, holy shit. I mean, a good chunk of them were from HAL Laboratory for, like, the older generation. Job of kind of staying in HAL Laboratory's sort of wheelhouse with the animations for the Gen 3 Pokemon, because a lot of them, you can hardly tell the difference between who made them. I mean, for a layperson, you wouldn't even know unless you played Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2 before this, so... Why the fuck is that Crobat 4 levels higher than the rest of his team? I have no idea. Probably because you need to get Golbat to that level just to Friendship Evolve it in this game. Doesn't matter anyway, though. Quagsire critted it and knocked it out, so that's fine. Oh boy, look at all that experience. Good lord. And there's a Wailord. I think I'm going to switch Breloom in for that one, actually. Because, I could probably use a little bit of, Actually, I think I'm going to make sure I get prior damage off on it. It would probably be better to KO Dusclops, but I don't want to get Water Spouted, so I'm going to do that. And Quagsire should get to 46 from the experience that's in here. Breloom can help me KO the Wailord, and then we'll KO Dusclops, and we'll be good. I might even switch Aggron in to get a little extra money as well, so we'll see. But yeah, I don't want to get Water Spouted. I mean, I'm going to get Water Spouted anyway, but if I get some prior damage off, it'll reduce the damage at the very least, so... Because I think Wailord gets Water Spout at, like, level 42 or something, so... It's pretty early after it evolves that it gets it, if I recall correctly, so... Yeah, I'm not going to mess with it. Well, thank you for giving me an excuse to use Giga Drain. So... Yeah, actually, you know what? No, I am going to switch Aggron in, it's fine. No, you know what I'll do? Is I'll Helping Hand this turn, so that way I don't spread the experience around too much, and I guarantee the KO. Then I'll switch Aggron in next turn when it's just Dusclops, and then Quagsire should still get to 46 itself. And we'll be good. I didn't need the Helping Hand, but like I said, it gives me something to do, so... I also like how there's kind of like this feeling of depth when Wailord's on the field, because all the trainers have to kind of almost step back, because the Pokemon is so large that the distance between their Pokemon almost seems like it's larger because Wailord hits the field. It really gives you that feeling of it being a gigantic Pokemon. So... Kind of surprised that this cave was spacious enough to fit it in here, to be honest, but I mean, I guess that makes sense. Okay, so that takes care of that. I think there's another platform not too far away from here, so... We'll see if I get in any more fights before I get to the platform. If we do, we'll probably call it there. And then if we don't, we'll be able to use the platform to go get that one treasure chest that we saw before. And then we'll call it a day once we ride the elevator actually up where it needs to go. Because that elevator is actually the one that we want to get on to get to that chest, so... anybody need healing? Yeah, Flareon and Quagsire could use it, so let's fix that. Let's give Quagsire a fresh water. Flareon a milk. There we go. Arbok can still stay out of reverse mode for a battle, finally. And I guess we'll give... actually, I'll give Breloom a little bit of extra experience, since Gardevoir's already at 47, so might as well, you know. So yeah, just 11 Shadow Pokemon to go from here, and then we'll be ready for those final couple of battles where we will have a lot to catch. So... Chest right here. There's a PowerPoint Max for us. I think that's the last PowerPoint boosting item in the dungeon. in the game, really. So now we got to make a decision on which one we'll use that on. So can't use it on Giga Drain. That's already done. So I'll probably use it on Rock Tomb, to be honest, because it's a stab move, so I'd rather it have more than 10 power points. Earthquake, I guess, kind of also makes a case for that, so... But... I mean, Rock Tomb has less power, so I'm more likely to use it more than Earthquake, so I think I'll just use it on Rock Tomb. That should be fine. Might want to hold on to the PowerPoint Max for one of your other games, though. If you want to play like a competitive game, you could always use the PowerPoint Max in, like, say, your Emerald version or something like that. Like, not use it on your main game Pokemon here, which you definitely won't be using in competitive metagame, but I'm not worried about that, because basically, once we go to the next game that I play on the GameCube, I'm gonna basically have to delete this save file of Pokemon XD because I won't have enough space on my memory card for the next game if I don't, so yeah. So once I'm done with this playthrough, I'm done with Pokemon XD, basically. Yeah, use it on Shadow Half, yeah, for sure. That's a great idea. Okay, here's the elevator that I think takes me to the room that I want to go to, but if we wait right here... Yeah, remember that one elevator? Oh, it was over there. Okay. Well, I guess we can go back and get it. Add a little extra length to the episode, no big deal. I guess I didn't wait around long enough on the other platform. Oh well, what can you do, right? I thought you had to get to it from this platform, but apparently I was wrong. Yeah, no big deal. Let's see, who's got the other 11 Shadow Pokemon now that I think about it? There's 2 more administrators to fight. We've got Snaddle and Gorgon still, so they've each got 2. I know there's 1 Peon that has 1, so that would put us at 5. And then there's got to be a couple more Peons that have 2 each after that, I guess. So, there we go. We made it pretty quickly, so... Yeah, it probably is. It's probably every 3 times the original platform moves that they line up like this, so... It's a good thing it doesn't put me directly over a lava pit. That wouldn't be good. Here's a couple max potions. Let's get back on before it leaves. There we go. And there you go. It's easy as that. Let's just hope that it lines up properly when I get back up here. And it does. That's good game design. I mean, that's just obvious game design, to be honest, but, you know, it's there. Alright, so now let's head over to the elevator that I was at before, because we should be able to just get in that without any problems. And I think that leads me to the room that I was waiting to get to at the end of this stream, to kind of mark our, like, halfway point in the dungeon. Watch me, like, get to the next episode, and it only take, like, 2 hours, because I spent 3 hours and 15 minutes today. Oh, boy. It'd be funny, but at least then I'd know I'd get the dungeon done in 2 sittings, so... Alright, off we go. Let's hope there is another Cypher Peon, like an ONBS, just waiting for me. Yes, this is the room that I was talking about. The Crane Room, and I'm getting another email from Egan. Hello. Mikey, I hope you are well. I've been keeping well, too. I have a message from my partner. Biga Biga. From the both of us, we hope for your success. That's nice, Egan. Thanks for the words of encouragement, I guess, because you've been... only that helpful this whole time. But why are there a bunch of cranes on Cidadark Isle? What's the connection between Dr. Kamenko and Master Greevil? And will we be able to dismantle the entirety of Cypher's plan before they can take over the world? Find out on the finale of Pokémon XD Gale of Darkness, the Stream Edition, which will most likely be happening on Friday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, thank you for watching, everybody. I appreciate you coming out to Twitch and YouTube to check out the stream. And I'll see all of you on the next one, which, as I said, will be on Friday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, everybody, take care and have a good one. I'm gonna get off of this stream, and I'm gonna need to, like, stare at my seasonal affective disorder light for a while, because the high fidelity of the game's graphics on a smart TV gonna make my eyes bug out. Stared at it for 3 hours and 20 minutes today. It's distinctly possible. Oh boy.